intelligence, meaning fewer workers. Maya Ephraim leads the search team at ABC News and says many people are turning to Google to search for what jobs are at risk from AI.
But they're also searching for what can AI not do. And as a related search for that is soft skills, actually. And corporate soft skills are trending more than they have since 2004.
Now, some of those skills are communication ability, problem solving, teamwork, leadership, time management, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and creativity. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. I don't see any issue on the interstates getting home right now. You just got the usual brake tapping here around downtown. You know, it's a little stop and go. Northbound 65 up to the South Loop, northbound North Loop up to the Northern Split, and then eastbound South Loop over to 65. I do see here in Mount Juliet some spilled cement in the road. South Mount Juliet Road northbound at Pleasant Grove Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, kids, one and all. Welcome in. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day. My name is Matt Murphy. Conveniently, I host the proceedings until about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Gosh, I was trying to shave off an hour there.
That's all right by me, Brother Murphy.
Yeah, let's just go on home.
Let's do it.
The traffic's good now, according to Ken Weaver, Traffic Man, so might as well just head on home and call it a day.
I think I might have jinxed it.
Yeah?
I'm starting to see some.
You're seeing some red now.
Slow down.
I could have called that one. Could have seen that one coming. One way or the other, we'll keep you abreast of what is going on vis-a-vis the traffic situation from Ken Weaver and other parts unknown. I don't know if Jay Harper's doing traffic too. I don't know who does all of that back there, but they handle it with a plumb.
That's a Brian Wilson term.
Oh, is it now?
Yes.
Oh, I never heard
a plumb a lot.
Oh, I like that. And now I've taken up disabuse. I'm carrying on the tradition of disabusing people of certain things, and knowledge, information, or whatever, or opinions or positions on a variety of different issues. We're going to do some of that today, as a matter of fact, as we welcome you into the show. There's Ken Weaver. He's behind the glass, making sure that everything – wait a minute, that's Jackson. Jackson makes sure that everything that comes out of our speaker sounds as good as humanly possible. He does a fair to middling job on that. Hello, Jackson.
Hey, buddy.
Fair to partly cloudy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little tired. Stayed up and watched that baseball game last night.
I got to talk about that for a moment. Man, oh, man. Did you see
Did
that,
you stay
Ken?
up, Ken?
I did not.
You did not. You
I
didn't
heard
make
about
it?
this morning.
You missed the greatest baseball game I think I've ever watched.
I don't know if it was the greatest baseball game except for that it lasted so long. I mean, it was good.
It was
Don't
just
get me
high
wrong.
level. Just good on good.
I mean, good on good, and a recognition that this Game 3 means a lot, man. If you're not aware, the World Series is going on, and I wasn't really intimately familiar with it until last evening. I had not followed the first two games of the World Series. I don't particularly care for the Dodgers, except that I do like Freddie Freeman, and I do have a respect for Ohtani. Is that his name?
Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani, the
soon-to-be greatest baseball player to ever live.
Hey, Ken, he got on base 9 times last night.
Wow.
9 times. He was 4 for 4 with 4 intentional walks and 1 basically intentional walk.
Yeah, they just were like, hey, we're going to pitch to him this time, everybody. And then they threw
it in the dirt.
Yeah. I'm going to put it this way. So I got a text around 11 o'clock saying, hey, this game's going to extras. You know, a bunch of buddies texting me about it. And so I tuned in. Ken, I watched that game for 3 hours before it ended. It was in extra innings for 3 hours.
That's what I heard this morning.
An 18-inning game.
It was they played 2 games.
That's
Two
the thing
games
about
in
baseball.
Well, one thing I love about it, that's right. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, not anymore with, sadly, during the regular season, and I suppose I get it, I understand it, but during the regular season, right, Jackson, at some point they put a guy on second base during the regular season now.
I think.
Yeah, they've changed the rules where during the regular season, when it gets past, I think the 11th inning, when they get to the 12th inning,
I think it's just when it's the 9th inning, after the 9th inning.
Do you think?
Yes.
I thought they gave them 10.
Postseason.
Well, maybe. One way or the other, they do ghost runners now. Well, they'll put a ghost runner on second base, and then a guy starts on second base with nobody out. And it's a way to encourage the game getting over.
The thing is, both teams ended up having runners on second with 0 outs multiple times.
And got out of the inning.
Matter.
And got out of the inning.
And a solo home run by Freddie Freeman ended it. How does it feel for you, a Braves fan, that Freddie Freeman will go into Cooperstown with a Dodgers hat on his head?
Do you think that's the case?
2 World Series championships plus 2 walk-off home runs.
Well, he doesn't have a second World Series championship with the Dodgers yet.
Oh, yeah. I'm just speaking that.
You're kind of projecting that into the future.
I think whoever won last night is going to win the series.
He had 12 years with the Braves. They can do split caps. I think he would do a split cap. I would think, but maybe not. I mean, he won his first world championship with the Atlanta Braves. I don't know. I am immune from pain with baseball now. I am. I just can't.
What about when LSU takes your football coach?
I can't get into the regular season, and my teams have disappointed me so many times during the postseason that I no longer feel pain. You can cut me, and I feel nothing. What are you saying about LSU? What?
What about when LSU calls Kirby Smart up?
Yeah. He ain't going over there.
What? Why are you trying to hurt me? It's a Tuesday. You normally wait till Thursday or Friday to try to hurt me.
Brother Jackson wants that to happen.
He is. Let me tell you something.
I would love for Kirby to go somewhere else, preferably Alaska.
I bet you would. Head football coach for the Alaskan Mud Hens.
If I could put Kirby Smart on that boat.
The Alaskan Polar Bears. That whiteout is something to see. That's what they tell me.
Oh,
the old Alaskan
maybe he'll be the next Titans coach.
The Juneau Polar Bears. The Juneau Wildercats.
The Kodiak.
The Kodiaks. Oh, that's a good one. Let's see if I can come up with the Anchorage Kodiaks.
Yes, sir.
Those are the only 2 towns in Alaska that I know. Juneau and Anchorage. Wait a minute. Kenai. That's a third one. I know 3.
You knew 2 more than me.
Yeah.
Which one's the capital, Jackson?
Anchorage.
You sure?
It's the only one I know, so I'm assuming.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna say
you might want to look that up. I'm actually not sure. Otherwise, I'd be berating you right now. No, you idiot! It's Juneau, which I think it is Juneau. but it could be Anchorage. I don't know. I don't know which one it is. Ken, do you know?
I have no idea.
Oh, is it Juneau?
Yeah.
I knew it all along. I was just stringing you out.
That's way to go, Brother Murphy.
Thank you, Ken.
Oh, the Sooners and the Bulldogs teaming up again.
You better hope. You better hope that you don't get a little some of that Bulldog action in Neyland Stadium this Saturday night.
Here's the thing. It took Georgia a perfect pass to beat Tennessee.
Yes, we all remember.
I don't think John Mateer can do that with his busted thumb.
You want to hear the call? I've never heard the Tennessee call. You want to pull up?
I haven't seen it. I don't think it's on Twitter.
You don't think some Georgia fan has pulled it and put it on Twitter?
I don't think so. That's a lot of work.
Why can't I remember his name? Golly.
Mike Keith?
Mike Keith. Yeah, you don't want to hear the Mike Keith call?
I'm good. That's not the one I want to hear.
Hey, what do the Sooners do? If I knew what the Sooners battle cry, Boomer!
Sooner!
Is that it? Is that it, Ken?
That's one of them.
There we go.
That's
Try to
one
do that again, Matt.
I'm not doing it again. You'll cut my mic off. I know you.
I won't. I promise not to cut your mic off.
Yeah.
Boomer! You cut my mic off, didn't you?
No, I cut
you cut Ken's mic off. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the Anchorage Dire Wolves. That's pretty good. Whatever happened to that Dire Wolf story?
I think they have two of them.
Do they?
Yeah.
Speaking of critters, I've got something for the class. I want to start the show off this way. So we got lots to get into.
Yes.
It's day 28 of the shutdown. Food banks are gearing up for what they fear to be a flood of individuals coming into them, asking for resources because they are without their SNAP benefits. I do believe, and I've tried to initiate this conversation with the listening audience. I think we need to have a broader conversation about the amount of people, even in a state like Tennessee, that are dependent on the federal government, depending on the tax-paying citizen for resources to feed themselves and their families. I find it disturbing. I'm not judging each and every one of you individually. I'm saying collectively, these are too many people. 42 million Americans depending on food stamps. That would suggest that they are depending on the force of government to take from one and give to another, which is what food stamp distribution ultimately is. Absent the obvious that we're really borrowing against the future of the United States of America to do all of this. That said, 42 million people, that's far too many people. But let me introduce the show, and then I'm gonna give out gifts. I've got show gifts, everybody. Look.
All right.
Oh, you're gonna love these. You're gonna love these.
Is it a snack?
It is not a snack, although Keith from Contours LLC, I was out at Contours earlier today, and he graciously gave this gift to Chad Benson. But I feel very comfortable that they are now in the break room, and these would be delicious oatmeal raisin cookies that Keith sent to Chad specifically because he knows how much Chad loves raisins. Not really. Keith is the one that sent the
big old box.
The net gross of raisins. How many boxes were in that bigger box?
I don't know.
Jackson, do you remember? Was it 9,
12.
10, 12?
Mm-hmm.
So there's 12. Keith sent us 144 ounces of raisins.
Whole bunch of them.
That's a lot of pounds of raisins.
Yeah.
We'll be eating on those. I mean, that keeps you regular, boys.
It's already gone.
Are they?
Yeah.
I mean, people take them home. If you want to enjoy some magic in your life, come up here and put some food in a break room, and you'll watch it disappear.
Just think about all the times you've watched, wild animal shows where a pack of lions take down a wildebeest. That's what it's like in a radio station whenever free food comes out in the break room.
Oh, did you see those Oreo cookies in the break room earlier?
Dude, they are gone.
Gone. I bet they lasted 30 minutes.
Yeah, and the package was torn.
Oh yeah, just like it was a bunch of Wolverines.
Yes.
It's insane. If you want me to perform a magic trick, bring me a sandwich, and I will make it disappear by putting it in a break room refrigerator at a radio station.
Yes, sir.
And I can make it happen triple fast by putting your name on it. If you want something to disappear even faster than it normally would in a radio station refrigerator, put your name on it. I used to put drinks in the station refrigerator in Birmingham, and I would write on them urine sample. Those held. Those held. Because I know that people didn't really believe it.
But they don't want to risk it.
But they didn't want to risk it. And so they just stole someone else's stuff. Anyway, I've got these gifts. It is Tuesday. It is October 28th. It is episode 912 of our gathering together. I appreciate each and every one of them, and I appreciate each and every one of you. We're on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart. We're on the app, our own app, SuperTalk 99.7 WTN. You can find us on any of those platforms. Just take us wherever you want to go on your mobile phone or whatever mobile device you might have on you. Obviously, we're on your radio dial at 99.7 FM. And then there's Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. I have not gotten a price point on what it costs to like and subscribe on Talk Television in the last several days. Ken Weaver, where are we at?
Absolutely nothing, boys.
Cost you nothing. And it would do us such a favor. Just go over there and give us the old thumbs up, even if you don't like us. Just give us the thumbs up, just for me, for Jackson. For goodness sake, this young man has to get paid. He has to eat. Let's get him some food by giving him the old thumbs up and saying that you appreciate what you hear on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. For the love. All right, day 28 of the shutdown. I got this in the mail, and I'm going to surprise some folks with my position on this. Now, if you're watching on Talk TV, you'll see me I mangled the box here. This is a package from our friends at PETA. People for the eating of tasty animals. Wait a minute. No, that's not right. People for the ethical treatment of animals. And this is, it's a little thing about Betty. It says, Free Betty, the most depressed elephant in the world. We're on a mission to help our friend Betty, the most depressed elephant in the world. Use this checklist to explore Betty's world. Look closely and carefully and see if you can spot some of the reasons she feels so sad and wants to be free. She appears depressed. Her trunk drags the ground. She has trouble walking. So apparently Betty is, she's kept in a pen or a trailer. Trainers make her give rides. I don't know where Betty is. Betty was taken from her home and family as a baby and has been forced to perform for more than 50 years. She deserves to live in peace and be taken care of at a real sanctuary. And then there's some cards to give out about freeing Betty. We've enclosed a small reminder for you that we need everyone's help to free Betty, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so it's a pitch. PETA's very good at this. And then they included, and this is the gift item, guys. They included 3 of these. So Ken, you get one of these.
What is it?
It's a little. See, that's what. It's a little elephant.
Probably a Bama fan.
And it says Free Betty on it. And then, but it's a squeezy toy.
Oh, yeah, I'll take one of those.
Yeah, so it's like one of those. But is this the image? Now, y'all watch it on Super Talk TV. Just see the little toy here. Is this what we want to? Is this what we're promoting? We're promoting that I'm squishing the elephant? I don't think that's the image that we want to promote, right?
Well, it's a stress reliever.
Okay. Well, there's 3 of them in here.
I'm going to make it watch me eat a hamburger.
What, this elephant?
Yeah.
You ever had elephant meat?
No, have you?
Nope. I was just asking.
I was just asking.
You know, there's more stuff. Look, guys, there's more stuff in the bottom. Oh, yeah, we got all kind of cool stuff. Oh, look, there's rats. Not real rats. Okay, anyway, so here's the bottom line. This is the reason that I bring this up. Most people do not know that we have an elephant sanctuary in the state of Tennessee. Did you know that, Jackson?
Did not.
Ken Weaver, you knew about the elephant sanctuary.
I knew it, but I can't remember where.
Hohenwald.
Oh, that's not very far away.
Yeah, just outside of Hohenwald. I have been. I wanted to go see the elephants at the elephant sanctuary. I'm all in favor of this. So I went to see the elephants. They have a visitor center in downtown Hohenwald where you can go and visit and see video of the sanctuary, see what it's all about, see the history of the sanctuary. You can learn more about the elephants that are currently at the sanctuary. I want to say it's a 3,000 or 4,000 acre facility near Hohenwald, Tennessee. It is for elephants that have been removed from circuses and other forms of captivity and want to live out their lives in peace. And apparently, Tennessee is a great place for that. They have African elephants. They have Asian elephants. They have many different types of elephants, et cetera, et cetera. And at times, they've had as many as, I want to say, 9. I don't know how many they have right now. I went when I first got here because I thought that perhaps being a member of the media that I could visit the facility, and they don't allow that anymore. They don't allow that ever. Do you know why they don't? And I actually kind of agree with this. Their philosophy and their policy is that obviously outside of caregivers and people that are going to take care of the elephants in the sanctuary, that people have done these creatures enough harm already. That's their policy. That people have, done enough, and they're taking them away from that atmosphere of gawking and looking and all of that, and they're not going to take them back to it. Here's the cool thing, though. True story, and I'll get some of the details of this story incorrect because I'm doing it from memory, but so I'll try to be as vague as possible, but you can learn more if you go to the Elephant Sanctuary website, and obviously if you visit Hohenwald, you can see this. You know the old phrase, elephants never forget? Well, there's a reason that people say that. And they had several elephants on property that had been there for a number of years, and they had an incoming elephant. And apparently their strategy is they don't introduce the incoming elephants to any other elephants until they have acclimated themselves to their environment and their circumstances. And so they bring them in and they separate them from any of the other elephant groups. And I think there's a strategy where they don't put males in the same thing or whatnot. Well, anyway, they brought this one elephant. Let's call this elephant Jackson. They brought this one elephant in, and they brought Jackson in, and Jackson started going berserk. And then one other elephant that had been on the sanctuary property for years, way away from where Jackson was, also started going berserk. I mean, they were going nuts.
You don't want that.
They were going nuts. And eventually they realized they were going nuts because they knew one another. They brought them together and they embraced. The elephants
I thought
did.
You were talking about they were rampaging.
No. They were going crazy, trumpeting and do all of these things. And they had no idea. But apparently they did some backstory research on these elephants and where they had been. They had been in the same circus like 30 years before.
I believe it.
And they remembered one another.
Yes, sir.
And they sensed one another, and they wanted to get back together. Anyway, here's where I'll say this. We don't need, I don't believe in circuses with animals in them.
Me either.
I've never believed in them. I believe that the time has come and gone that we have that necessity. I understand why we did it back in the day. Way back in the day before television, before the intraweb, before electrical lighting, when Jackson accuses me of growing up. Back in those times, I get it. You never had a chance to see a tiger. You never had a chance to see a lion. You never had a chance to see an elephant unless the circus came to town. Now you have every opportunity to see any of those creatures that you want to see, either on television, on video, or in the zoo. And you can call me a pud at your peril. I don't agree with circuses. And frankly, I want to see as many elephants out of captivity as humanly possible.
I like elephants.
I do too.
They're very, very interesting animals.
They're fascinating creatures. Fascinating creatures. Creatures of a bygone era, Ken. Really. What are your thoughts on elephants, Jackson? Go.
Big.
You don't care for them, do you? You don't like elephants, do you?
Why do you say that?
Roll Tide.
Oh, yeah. Not a fan.
Oh, yeah.
Not a fan of tigers or
elephants.
Bulldogs.
Uh-huh.
What's a sooner, Ken?
Somebody who's going to win Tennessee on November 1st. Right there in their own house.
Somebody that went to a place early, unlike we're doing on this break because we're very late. It's 26 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Sorry, I couldn't get to my microphone button because I was playing with my little elephant friends that PETA brought me. speaking of friends, we are friends with an organization called Men of Valor, and I absolutely love this organization and what they mean for our community. Besides the fact that they save us a lot of money, more on that later, they save men's lives. I mean, they truly do, because they minister to men within the walls of the prison system in the state of Tennessee. And your support allows them to win men in prison over to Jesus Christ and disciple them so they can reenter society as men of integrity, dare I say, Men of Valor. They lower recidivism. Men of Valor is saving Tennessee taxpayers more than $1 million for every 7 men who stay out of prison for longer than 5 years. And they lower recidivism rates. They get them into the teens. In some states, recidivism is up to 70%. In Tennessee, it's well over 50%. And with Men of Valor graduates, they lower that to 15%. I'm telling you, friends, this process works. They bring men to lives of God, and they become productive members of society as a result. Your support is crucial. They maintain close relationships with their graduates at Men of Valor, and they encourage you to be a part, whether it's through volunteerism or through donation. Go to movministry.com. That's movministry.com to find out more about a wonderful organization that I strongly support. It's Men of Valor.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. And right now in Jamaica,
the eye of Hurricane Melissa, the strongest storm to ever hit Jamaica in its history, has officially made landfall. This storm is bringing catastrophic conditions all across the island here. We're talking about 185 mile per hour winds that is essentially damaging so much critical infrastructure here, and also 13 feet of storm surge, which is threatening threatening to inundate the southern coastline area here.
That's Ike Jaichi reporting. Well, the top Senate Republican says the impacts of the government shutdown are going to get worse as the week drags on, with the food stamp program due to run out of money. Vice President J.D. Vance says the administration will continue moving funds around to pay the troops.
We do think that we can continue paying the troops, at least for now, but we've got food stamp benefits that are set to run out in a week. We're trying to keep as much open as possible. We just need the Democrats to actually help us out.
Yeah, today, air traffic controllers missed their first full paychecks since the beginning of the shutdown, and nearly 700,000 Tennesseans rely on SNAP benefits to buy groceries, but that goes away on Saturday. And this morning, Amazon announced it's cutting 14,000 corporate jobs. It comes just a few months after CEO Andy Jassy signaled the rise of generative artificial intelligence could mean fewer workers. Maya Ephraim leads the search team at ABC News. She says Google searches for AI-proof jobs and AI-proof careers have been increasing lately.
While interest has continued to rise steadily, it spiked in 2025. First in July when Trump signed the National AI Action Plan, and again in August when OpenAI's latest GPT-5 model was released.
Yeah, they're looking for trade schools, trades that pay well. Apprentice jobs are trending again, more than they have since 2004. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, brake tapping going on, especially if you're northbound 65 trying to get to Goodlettsville. Then over here around the loop downtown in the usual places, northbound 65 up to the South Loop, then the northbound North Loop up to the North Interchange. And then over there, looks like between the downtown split and the eastern split, westbound 40 is very slow. So is eastbound 440 from 65 over to 24, and then 24 is bumper to bumper down to Briley. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. House Speaker Mike Johnson has now spoken out about the possibility of a third Trump term. It's a subject that I frankly think is rather stupid to talk about. And I don't use that term lightly. I just think it's a dumb conversation to have. I don't think that it lends itself to any productive movement toward the policy positions that we need to take as Americans to better our lives. And the Constitution is fairly clear about how many terms, whether you agree with the Constitution or not, or the 22nd Amendment or not, it's pretty clear in its intention and it's pretty clear in its language. But we'll talk about it for what it's worth with Congressman Andy Ogles coming up at 4:35 this afternoon. Congressman Ogles will be on. He just received a Trump endorsement, endorsing him for another term as congressional representative of the 5th District of the state of Tennessee. We'll talk to him about that, the government shutdown, political opposition, amongst other things. That is, once again, on the way at 4:35 this afternoon. Your telephone calls all afternoon long, 615-737-9986. If you'd like to get them in here, 615-737-9986. We'd love to hear from you. Is it just, Jackson, and I don't mean to produce on air like this, but on the Super Talks television side of things, are you getting a nice clear picture over there? Is it just me?
Yeah,
because it looks horribly fuzzy.
Your lighting's a little bit weird.
Is it? What can I do about that for you?
Fix your lighting.
What do you want me to do, Jackson? I'll do anything for you, Jackson. You want me to go to the grocery store? I'll go to the grocery store. Pick up dry cleaning. I'll pick up dry cleaning. I do what you tell me. We'll figure it out. Figure it out.
Because you look clear. It's just the lighting's a little bit weird.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks fuzzy in here. I don't know what to tell you. I just feel like with all this money that we're making the company, we could probably get some better lighting or fix those green dots on the TV. Why am I complaining about this? I don't know. I'm in a mood. All right. So I don't have time. Several of you are asking why the elephant is associated with the University of Alabama when they are the Crimson Tide. The short answer to that story is, like most things that have happened in college sports, it was a beat writer for a newspaper that referred to them as the Red Elephants. Yes, Jackson. Jackson has a theory.
My theory is that the scariest thing for them is a big word, and that was the biggest word they could think of. So they're like, "Oh, we'll be the fighting elephants."
That's a big one.
That's a big word. We can't spell that. We went to Alabama.
Let's see. Is it
ELFANT?
There's got to be a.
There's an
F in there. There's an F in there somewhere.
I ain't saying anything because I still got to play it.
Whatever. Garbage truck convention. That's what the Alabama Crimson Tide faithful would say to you, Jackson. Garbage truck convention. But I got no time for that right now because we got to get into it. This storm is pretty massive.
Boy, it is.
And it is popping Jamaica right now. Do we have any direct? I mean, I know that there were some folks on the scene at the point that Hurricane Melissa was making landfall. It's unleashed a Category 5 mess in Jamaica, expected to have flood surge in the 15 to, in some places, 17-foot zone. The most intense fury that the island nation has caught in modern times. AccuWeather issued its final update on the story. Ongoing dire situation unfolding in the Caribbean as a Category 5 Hurricane Melissa. Forecast, it's making landfall as we speak. It's over land as we speak. And then heading right to, I guess it's going to pop Cuba next, right?
Yes, sir.
That makes sense. And then it's expected just to go out into the Atlantic and not really affect land in the aftermath of all of that?
Yeah, it looks like Bermuda and, parts of the Caribbean and Bermuda could see, some rain and some wind, but the eye is not going to go over those areas.
Well, whatever thoughts and prayers, you can give these folks, you need to give it to them. I mean, there's a lot of travelers that are stuck on the island, but then the locals, they need all the thoughts and prayers that they can get. The mid-afternoon advisory found that winds had increased to 175 miles per hour. And I don't have, let me see if I can get the latest eye of the storm.
It's down to 165 right now.
165.
With the eye over western Jamaica.
I mean, those wind speeds are of a nature that oh, hold on. Sorry. I popped something. There's an ongoing YouTube conversation that's going on with a variety of different weather services, and I was trying to find exactly the latest information. Ken's probably got it in there. But 165 mile an hour winds rake to Jamaica. They're saying between a Category 4 and a Category 5 storm. Devastating hurricane made landfall earlier this afternoon near New Hope as a Category 5 with winds reaching up to 185 miles an hour and a pressure of 892, what is that, metabars or something like that, megabars. Historic strike that will lead to months and years of recovery expected. Landfall will go down in the record books as one of the strongest anywhere in the Atlantic basin. So anyone in Jamaica, they're in danger, and obviously in Cuba, same thing for those guys too. And you're thinking about those folks. Mother Nature is not to be trifled with, as they say. It's day 28 of the government shutdown, and now Democrats have reached full insanity. If you've listened to any of the radio show over the last couple of weeks, and by the way, several of you were prophetic in your prognostication as to how long this would last, I posted up on my social media platform on X. I'm over there most of the time. You can find me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Matt Murphy Show. You can follow me on Facebook, Matt Murphy or Matt Murphy Show. Either of those work. And then you can follow me on the X machine at Matt Murphy Show. And on the X machine, I asked the question on October 6th. So it was, 3 weeks ago or thereabouts. Just after the shutdown started, I asked the question, how long do you believe the Democrats will keep the government shut down? Because it's most certainly a Democrat shutdown. I said the four choices you had were this week, end of month, end of year, or get off my lawn. I always like to include get off my lawn as a choice if you do not wish to participate in the poll. Get off my lawn received 25% of the vote, as it normally does. Of those voting for either of the other three choices, I was surprised that only 16% said end of week, 9% said end of year, or almost 10%, and 48% of you said the end of the month. And I think most of you are going to be correct. This will last to the end of this month, and I do not believe that it will last much longer than that, because the Democrats are squarely to blame for the damage that they are causing the American people, whether we're talking about government employees or those that rely on government assistance month to month. Now, we can debate and should debate whether or not 42 million people on SNAP benefits is too many people on SNAP benefits, and I would argue it most certainly is. Whether we're talking abuse, whether we're talking about able-bodied people being eligible for SNAP benefits, that shouldn't be the case either. Those monies and those benefits should be left to those who truly need a last catch safety net in their lives. Beyond charitable organizations, beyond community organizations, beyond food banks, beyond church organizations. All of those things need to be thought about before we think about government. And while I'm thinking about that, please support them. These are the ways that we should be doing this. Regardless of judgment, and we do a lot of judgment on this show. I get it. I mean, that's the nature of kind of what we do on a daily basis. But setting that aside, friends, I do believe that it is our duty to our fellow man that we feed those who are hungry, and then we can follow up with trying to figure out how they got in the situation that they're in and how we can benefit them in the long term. But you benefit them in the short term first, the long term secondly. And you do that through food bank organizations. You do that through church-based organizations. I believe I heard earlier today, I think it was on Dan Mandis's Nashville's Morning News, World Outreach Church is collecting food items and food donations. There are food banks around our community. You can find them. All you have to do is Google food bank near me, and you can find any number of them that are there, and they're trying to help people that are in need. This is the way. This is the way. that we should be doing this, not through force of government. That is not to say that ultimately the government should not be there at a time of crisis. But the liberal Democrats have decided that they will politicize even this situation that they themselves created. Did you see where Chuck Schumer is planning to present a Democrat-sponsored bill that would reopen food stamps? Brother, there's one way that you need to reopen the food stamp program, and that is to get off your ass and vote to reopen the government by voting for the continuing resolution. What an insult to the American people. What an insult to our intelligence that this is what they're doing. They consistently vote to keep government closed that will close down programs like the food stamp program, and they simultaneously refuse to consider an effort by Marsha Blackburn and other Republicans that would reopen the government SNAP benefit program. And they want to carry their own bill. This is what Chuck Schumer's message was today. Oh, we're going to carry our own bill. To hell with your own bill. Reopen the government. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is find five senators that are willing to reopen the government. And those SNAP benefits will go out on the date that they should. Instead, the political left has decided that they're going to blame Trump. Trump! Just a little primer for those of you in Aniana that don't understand how government works. God bless you. The Congress of the United States of America, specifically the House of Representatives, holds the purse strings. In other words, they manage the money that the United States of America spends as a federal government. Therefore, it is not under the umbrella of authority for the President of the United States, a president that Democrats have consistently referred to as an authoritarian. It is not in his ability to reopen the government on his own. I saw people, Donald Trump, they're blaming Donald Trump. This representative that you're about to hear from after the break, Melanie Stansberry, from New Mexico, posted a video earlier today lamenting the loss of the East Wing. Yeah, the East Wing, we hardly knew you. The East Wing, how devastating it must be for Democrats and their families that the East Wing is no longer with us. Melanie Stansberry says, as our communities are facing a crisis, Trump is choosing to cut off food assistance to 40 million Americans while building a $300 million ballroom for himself. Cruelty is the point. Stupidity en masse in Washington, D.C. I'll share the thought with you. We'll talk about it in a moment. We'll take your calls on it as well. It is 51 after the hour. You're listening to Super Talk 99.7 WTN in the Matt Murphy Show. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way at Grace Point Healthcare. Grace Point Healthcare is affordable medicine, and you don't have to wait for the insurance company to give you the thumbs up because they don't either at Grace Point Healthcare. They're a direct pay primary care provider, meaning that all treatment decisions are made between you and the medical staff, never your insurance company, meaning that you can get in same day or next day. They don't believe in making you wait in a long line or making you wait for weeks on end for an appointment. They don't do that at Grace Point Healthcare, even for brand new patients. They treat newborns to seniors. Everyone in your family can be a part of the Grace Point family, and they look forward to serving you. Plus, ask them about their basic Smart Care plan, $99 for adults, $79 for kids. You can pay that out of your HSA, and it covers all of your office visits plus basic labs and diagnostics for the entire year. Grace Point treats the entire body with a comprehensive medical approach, not a cookie-cutter approach, but specific to you and specific to your needs. Call them today. They're located right in Franklin, the heart of Franklin, as a matter of fact. 599-6868. 599-6868 for Grace Point Healthcare.
Hurricane Melissa has made landfall in Jamaica. We've got a report from there. The top Senate Republican says the impacts of the government shutdown are going to get worse as the week drags on. And boy, Amazon freaked out a lot of American workers today, and we'll tell you what they're Googling coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The House Oversight Committee has now questioned whether or not several pardons issued by Joe Biden and signed by the Autopen are actually valid pardons. We'll get into that next hour of the show as well. Plus, I'll get into this audio from Representative Melanie Stansbury that I have not vetted. It's about 3 minutes of audio. I've listened to the first 40 seconds of it, so it's possible that I'm getting myself in a spot of bother because you know these Democrats. The Democrats have now taken to cursing on camera because they feel like it makes them look tough. You know, giving the old curse like you just did with Ken Weaver, you know.
No, I didn't.
You flipped him off.
I would never do that to Ken Weaver.
You did. I watched you do it.
No, nobody saw that.
You can't shoot that one-finger salute in Petey Pie's seats. Not this Saturday, buddy.
I like the way Jackson, that was a very politician move. Jackson didn't admit it. He just said nobody saw that.
Nobody saw it.
My fellow Americans.
I did not flip that bird to Ken Weaver.
I didn't
do it. It really depends on what the definition of flip is.
And how hard you bite your lip.
How's my Clinton?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good one, Brother Jackson.
That's not bad. We'll work on it. We're going to work on the news. Ken Weaver's got it, and he's going to give it in seconds on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast, traffic updates in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Hurricane Melissa, a catastrophic Category 5 storm continuing to tear across Jamaica after making landfall on the island's west coast today with winds of 185 miles per hour. Melissa has lost some steam but remains a dangerous, slow-moving storm packed with wind and heavy rain. ABC News meteorologist Melissa Griffin on what's next.
It's expected to remain a major hurricane as it reaches Cuba by later tonight through tomorrow morning. So still, catastrophic flooding, numerous landslides. These are expected for Jamaica today, by Cuba tonight as the heavy rain moves on shore. 9 to 13-foot storm surge still remains possible across the south shore of Jamaica, and we could see several feet of storm surge for the south shore of Cuba as well.
Authorities say the Jamaican military and fire brigade have crews ready to respond for search and rescue operations, but won't be deployed until the most dangerous part of Melissa passes. This is ABC News.
Right now in our nation's capital, the top Senate Republican says the impacts of the government shutdown are going to get worse as the week drags on, with the food stamp program due to run out of money on Saturday. Vice President J.D. Vance says the administration will continue moving funds around to pay the troops. ABC National News correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Emerging from lunch with Senate Republicans, Vice President Vance told reporters the military will continue receiving paychecks.
We do think that we can continue paying the troops, at least for now.
But when asked why the Department of Agriculture isn't relying on a contingency fund to keep SNAP food assistance flowing, Vance compared the idea to putting a square peg into a round hole.
You know what would make this really easy? If the Democrats just opened up the government, then we wouldn't have to play this game.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Yeah, today air traffic controllers missed their first full paycheck since the start of the shutdown. Nearly 700,000 Tennesseans who rely on SNAP benefits to buy groceries going to lose out on that on Saturday if this shutdown continues. This morning, Amazon announced it's cutting 14,000 corporate jobs due to AI. Maya Ephraim leads the search team at ABC News. She says that's all coincided with a spike in Google searches for specialized schools, that is.
Trade schools, trades that pay well, apprentice jobs are trending again more than they have since 2004. And some examples of the breakout searches are electrical schools, plumbing, mechanics, ultrasound techs have been trending up over the past 5 years, power plant operators, among others.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right now, I don't see any crashes or stalled vehicles on the interstates. We just got the usual slowdown this time of day. It is especially slow 40 eastbound to go northbound on the North Loop. Then eastbound South Loop over to 65. Northbound 65, you're coming to a complete stop there at the South Loop. Very slow going eastbound 440 over to 24. That continues eastbound 24 all the way to Briley. And then, of course, you got the usual slowdown trying to get home to Goodlettsville. That is bumper to bumper, Goodlettsville, all the way back down to Madison, northbound 65.
On your radio dial, on your app, whether it's TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart, or our own, or on Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble, we thank you for being a part of hour number 2 of the Matt Murphy Show this Tuesday, October 28, 2025. Hey, did we decide if we're dressing up on Friday? Are we dressing up as football fans on Friday? Is that what we're doing?
You want to do jerseys?
Are we? Well, I mean, I could do a jersey, but I don't really have a Georgia jersey. I could do a Bobby Boucher jersey. That would be good.
I have a
You know what?
Reggie
I
White.
shouldn't say what I'm going to do. You have a Randy White?
Reggie White.
I mean Reggie White. Who's Randy White?
Some guy.
Is the brother of Reggie?
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking of Danny White. I was thinking of Danny White. You know who Danny
He
White
didn't have a
was?
jersey.
You know who Danny White was? Not that Danny White.
Danny White's the athletic director for the University of Tennessee.
I understand that. He's a former football quarterback. He was at one time a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys before you were born, young Jackson. I just don't know if we're, dressing up or not.
I don't really want to.
I don't want to either. I just want to wear.
Ken, do you want to?
Ken wants to so little he left. How about that?
Ken
Ken
don't
said,
you run away from me, Ken Weaver.
Ken said, cash him outside. How about that? All right, a couple of cleanup matters. One, this Hurricane Melissa, man. I mean, I understand these things are what they are, and there are weather nerds that hype this stuff, and I don't think you could overhype what is happening right now in Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa is obviously hammering Jamaica right now, going to hammer portions of Cuba as well, and then eventually veer on out to the Atlantic Ocean and die out as it gets into cooler waters. But, a lot of those Jamaican resorts and the rest of the island nation under assault right now. And I've never been to Jamaica. I don't know a lot about Jamaica. I've never really been to any place in the Caribbean. Jackson, you ever visited the Caribbean with family or friends?
Been to the Bahamas. Does that
Have
count?
you? Yeah, well, yeah. Of course that counts, yeah. How was that?
Awesome.
Nice? You like it?
Loved it.
Yeah. I've never been. And I don't think I'll be going to Jamaica anytime soon because they're getting slammed. I often think, though, obviously in the modern era, for the most part, countries that get popped, locations that get popped, like Jamaica's being popped, somewhat in advance. When something like this happens, I think of places like Galveston, Texas, back in the early 1900s. It was either 1903 or 1908. The hurricane that hit Galveston, Texas in I want to say 1908. I think that's correct. Hurricane killed like 8,000 people. It killed 8,000 people for two reasons. One, construction during that period in time was crap. And number two, nobody knew it was coming. We went down to, the wife and I went down to Key West some years ago. And in one of the museums that we went into, they were talking about different periods in time where weather devastated the Key West region and how Key West has changed as a result. And I was thinking about this then. I just imagine being in a period in human existence where you don't get the warnings that we now get, where you don't get a heads up, where you don't know when something comes, when it arrives, and you don't know how bad it's going to get, and you don't know how long it's going to last until, it happens to you. And I cannot imagine the level of uncertainty and fear that would come with that. Now, obviously, there's a level of uncertainty and fear even now in 2025 regarding what's going to happen to Jamaica, and there's not a lot we can do about it. It is what it is. Natural disasters are what they are. Speaking of natural disasters, did you hear that Bill Gates, after years of trying to scare the hell out of people off their dollar, he's now admitting that the climate hyperventilation is a hoax? Oh, yeah, I have the story. He's admitting basically, and this is my characterization of what he said, he's basically admitting that no matter how much they tried, no matter how much they sank money into it, that the entities that were climate alarmists, were unable to freak us the heck out over it to the point that we would come off of our free market capitalism and sink money into programs that were never going to work. And as a result, he has admitted that climate change, for what it's worth, is never going to wipe out humanity. And it never was going to wipe out humanity. It might change the earth as we know it, because the one thing that the climate never stops doing is, wait for it now, changing, which is why climate change is such a hoaxy way of describing this. Global warming, global cooling, it's all climate change. It's all climate change. But I have that story for you coming up in just a little bit on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. In the meantime, here's where the Democrats are on the shutdown. So Democrats want you to know that cruelty is the point. And this particular Democrat gets very emotional. And so Jackson Williams has to be on his P's and Q's. Mind your P's and Q's there, Jackson, and mind the dump button, because I don't know if this woman's going to say anything dirty or not. It is a clip where Melanie Stansbury, a representative from the 1st Congressional District out of New Mexico, fighting for our future, she says, working every day to build a more just, equitable, and resilient world. She flew in from Albuquerque and says she had to come down to the White House to see what was going on for herself. And let's just say, based on what she saw where the East Wing used to be, Representative Melanie Stansbury is
I
devastated.
just got off a plane from Albuquerque and I had to come down and see it for myself. And I'm outside of the entrance, the security entrance to the East Wing, and the East Wing is literally completely gone. There's nothing left.
Yeah, that. I mean,
Oh, the humanity.
there's nothing left. It's completely gone. What part of we've got to raise the East Wing in order to build the East Ballroom? Once again, I would love to ask Representative Melanie Stansberry to tell us her favorite memory of the East Wing now that the East Wing is dead. They're treating the East Wing like a human being. The East Wing is gone. She's gone. There's nothing left. Oh, it gets better.
From here, all you can see is nothing. Just from here straight to the White House, to the house itself. They managed to literally tear down the entire East Wing in 4 days.
Okay, so I would think that's good, right?
Working overtime.
I mean, come on. That's working for $1.
Brother Matt, it happened in literally 4 days.
Guys, it's literally gone. It's not figuratively gone. It's literally gone. And it happened in 4 days.
You know, and it's such a metaphor for what's happening right now. Our democracy, Constitution, the rule of law.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute, because I think it was the democracy that led to a vote on November 5th of 2024 that led to this president being in the White House, that led to a decision being made on the part of the executive branch of government, which is an equal and separate branch of government from yours, and gave him the legal authority to make adjustments and changes to the White House so long as it did not involve the expenditure of taxpayer dollars. And Donald Trump and the people in the executive branch understood, ma'am, that they could not spend money without your approval. And so, in an effort to save the taxpayers a couple of bucks and to cut through the red tape, they decided to privately fund the measure through Donald Trump's money and through private donations. So you don't have anything to do with it?
4 days.
4 days.
Literally 4 days. Donald Trump tore down the East Wing in 4 days. This is literally one of the most historic buildings in the United States.
Okay, lady, you don't know what in the hell you're talking about. Literally. Okay, the White House, yes, is historic. I would love to have Melanie Stansberry on the show with us today so she could tell us exactly what is so historic about the calligraphy room in the East Wing. So are you suggesting that no changes should ever be made to anything in Washington, D.C. whatsoever because of the historic nature of these things? Where were you, Ms. Stansberry, while they were destroying the statue of Robert E. Lee across the Potomac in Virginia? Where were you when they were destroying statues of Christopher Columbus? Where were you when they were in Lafayette Square spray painting statues in Lafayette Square across the street from the White House? Were you there protesting? Were you standing outside videoing, crying about it? Where were you when all over the United States of America, symbols of the American history that we ought to celebrate, and some of which we should look at as a reminder of what not to repeat in the past? There have been example after example after example of destructions of history. In this case, ma'am, I would challenge you to tell me what was so historic about the East Wing. The East Wing didn't exist before, 1902, 1906? The East Wing did not exist as it currently stood before the destruction that took only literally 4 days, as the woman would tell you. 1942, which, by the way, FDR got crap about for putting in a pool in 1942 because it was during wartime. But it happened anyway. And then the White House, after the construction of the East Wing, was so dilapidated that Harry Truman had to go in there and gut the whole thing. Took 4 years, 1948 to 1952, I believe it was. Harry Truman had to live across the street for most of the second term of his presidency because of that. Now, I wouldn't suggest to you that these things weren't on some level controversial at the time that they happened, but they happened, and they created the White House that you now know and love, or the one that you used to love before it was destroyed in literally 4 days.
No permit, no permission.
Ma'am, he doesn't need permission from you. The American people, by the way, I would suggest that you are wrong. Listen
Brick buildings in the United States.
Listen to this again.
No permit, no permission.
Ma'am, we gave the President of the United States permission. We, the people of the United States of America, when we, the people, voted him the 47th President of the United States of America and the caretaker of the executive branch of government, we, the people, authorized Donald Trump to do as he saw fit for the betterment of the White House and for the betterment of the American people. And oh, by the way, it's going to be better. Even the most ridiculous Democrat, well, no, I take that back. Swalwell said that you have to tear it down, that anybody running for the Democrat Party presidential nomination has to promise to tear whatever he builds down.
No congressional oversight, no appropriations. He just went and did it.
Okay, he doesn't need appropriations, ma'am. He's not doing it on the taxpayer dollar. Something that you should be celebrating, considering that we're $38 trillion in debt.
He asked his billionaire friends to give him money, corporations who have business in front of the White House. His campaign donors.
Yeah.
Raised $300 million to build a vanity project and demolition one of the most historic buildings in the United States. And meanwhile...
once again, what made the East Wing so historic? What made it so sacrosanct that no one can touch it? It was a bunch of offices. Now, no doubt, you need to take this up with a certain level of caution. Donald Trump wanted to do this his first term in office and didn't.
He literally
is
cutting off food assistance to 40 million Americans.
What?
Grandmothers who take care of their grandchildren,
okay,
veterans who are struggling, children.
Donald Trump's killing people.
He is literally telling the state.
If this woman uses the word literally again, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to literally go crazy. He literally did not, ma'am. I don't understand what you're talking about.
To not fund SNAP and food assistance starting Saturday, while he is building a $300 million ballroom.
The fascinating thing about this, and I get all beside myself, but this woman that you're seeing on our screen, if you're watching on Talk TV or you're listening to on the radio, she's so smug and full of herself. She thinks, what point has she made? Jackson, you don't follow these stories, these news items on the level that I do. What point has she made so far?
She don't like that ballroom.
That's right.
And demolition in the White House. And his own press secretary said it herself last week. This is his number one priority.
Okay, you are such a liar. Democrats are such liars. Oh, my goodness gracious. How could you follow for this? How could you vote for this? Caroline Leavitt, do I need to pull up the tape? Caroline Leavitt was asked a specific question, said, hey, are there any other construction projects that the president is considering? And she said, not at this time. The ballroom is his number one priority. Meaning, based on the question asked me regarding the priority that the president has regarding construction on the White House property, this is his priority. He was asked a question about construction projects on White House grounds, and he answered that question. The question related to, hey, he changed the Rose Garden and put in a patio, and now he has demolished the East Wing. Does he have any other construction projects that he's looking at? And Caroline Leavitt said, No, not at this time. Right now, the ballroom is his number one priority. And now Democrats are running around the country saying his number one priority is this building this ball. The man is currently negotiating trade deals in Asia. The man is currently negotiating peace deals with Cambodia. The man is about to negotiate a trade deal with China, the biggest geoeconomic force on planet Earth besides the United States of America. The man has stopped conflict with 8 separate nations. I'm sorry, in 8 separate areas of the world amongst more than 8 nations. And your suggestion is, what, that he's not doing enough?
Not feeding the American people, not addressing their healthcare crisis, not trying to get the government reopened.
Ma'am, the way to get the government reopened is for you to do a little nifty video of yourself and talk to your fellow Democrats and beg them to just vote to reopen the government. That's all they have to do. We've had 13 separate votes. I know I've got to go to a break. I'm sorry. We've got 13 separate votes. And on 13 separate occasions, the Democrats prevented the vote that would allow for SNAP benefits to go out on November 1st. The Democrats are the ones that are stymieing all of this. Now, either you are too dumb to understand this or you think we're so dumb that we'll believe your lies. And those are the two choices that we have in this matter. It's 24 after the hour on Super Talk. Hey, friends, I listened long enough, right? I listened to Dan Mandis and Chad Benson talk about contours and the incredible results that they were seeing for themselves and that they were seeing for their listeners. And so I had to get in on this. I talked to Keith and Stephanie and the team at Contours, and now I'm going through the program as well. These guys are incredible. They're in a class by themselves, and I strongly encourage you, if you're looking for that boost, if you have, like me, lost some weight, and I've been losing some weight, and some folks have complimented me on it, but there were just places that I couldn't get it off, just love handles. And, you know, when you're 52, these things, it's harder to lose that weight than it has been ever before. Well, with Contours LLC, they use red light technology to reduce body fat naturally using the body's natural process. I have seen great results. I've had 2 sessions now. You will too. I've already lost at least 2.5 inches. That happened during the first visit, and I had my second visit earlier today. You need to come and try it. They're running a very cool special right now for $99. They will get you in. You can try Contours. You can find out for yourself how it works. They'll sit down with you and talk with you about it. Fat loss with no incisions, no downtime, no pain, no complications. What do you have to lose but inches? Nothing, friends. Call them today at 615-236-9960 and ask about the $99 introductory special, or go to contoursllc.com. The number, once again, call today, right now, 615-236-9960.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes right now in Jamaica. Cat 5 Hurricane Melissa made landfall on the island's west coast. This happened around noon, Middle Tennessee time today. Here's Melissa Griffin.
We are watching those wind speeds decrease now that Hurricane Melissa is interacting with land in Jamaica. It's completely made landfall, the eye fully over the island. 165-mile-per-hour winds now, but don't let that catch you off guard because it still remains a powerful Category 5 hurricane, and we're going to continue to see it remain a Category 4 to 5 hurricane as it continues to move through Jamaica and eventually towards Cuba.
Now, widespread destruction reported across western Jamaica, talking about roofs torn off, trees down, massive flooding. At least 3 deaths have been confirmed in Jamaica, part of 7 total fatalities related to the storm across the Caribbean. It's day 28 of the government shutdown, and today air traffic controllers missed their first full paychecks since it started. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said if the shutdown continues, many controllers will not be able to make it without 2 paychecks.
This is day 1. And day 2 gets harder. Day 3 is harder after that as expenses continue to roll.
Nearly 700,000 Tennesseans who rely on SNAP food benefits for groceries will lose that benefit on Saturday if the government shutdown continues. Amazon announcing today that AI is replacing 14,000 corporate jobs. Maya Ephraim leads the search team at ABC News and says people are turning to Google to learn more about AI's impact on the labor market.
People are searching what jobs are safe from AI, what jobs will AI create, what jobs will AI replace by 2030, what jobs will AI replace by 2050, and then also the specific searches are, will AI replace lawyers, teachers, accountants, doctors, nurses, data analysts, software engineers, product engineers.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, we are coming to complete stop-and-go traffic eastbound 440 over to 24 from 65. Then eastbound 24, it is bumper-to-bumper and stop-and-go down to Briley Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Well, you heard the man. It's getting cool outside. You kind of knew that was coming, right? It's that time of year where it gets cold into the 40s and even up on the plateau into the 30s. Well, have you gotten your heater handled in your home? If you've not called Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling, might I advise you to do that. It's hard to find someone you can trust, and I'm telling you, Jeff Eddy is a trustworthy face and a trustworthy company in a sea of, frankly, hit or miss when it comes to HVAC. Efficient Heating and Cooling, smaller company, but big service and big results in mind. They'll get there quickly. They never charge you overtime on the overnight hours or on weekends. They keep your invoices low that way. They just believe in it. The best way to head off costly repairs is through maintenance, and with that in mind, they'll never charge you over $125 to maintenance your heater, even if you have multiple units on your residential property. And oftentimes it's less than that. Plus, you get the maintenance warranty, the guarantee. What is that? That means if they have to come out for any other reason for your heater over the course of this season, they're not going to charge you a service fee if you have maintenance your unit with Efficient Heating and Cooling. That's what it's all about. Plus, when it's time to replace, they're an elite pro partner with Rheem, and they can help you find the right unit for you and your family. Go to efficienthvac.net. That's efficienthvac.net, or call 615-784-4424, 784-4424 for Efficient. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll get back to your calls momentarily on the Matt Murphy Radio Show, Super Talk 99.7. Yes, we'll get into, there are several food banks that are gearing up for the sad loss of benefits. Many Tennesseans depend either temporary, hopefully these are temporary dependencies on the federal government for SNAP benefits. And sadly, the Democrats continue to have the government closed it down. And as a result, some of these painful situations are cropping up across our state and across the United States of America. We'll continue talking about that. Day 28 of the shutdown. Toward that end, we are pleased to speak with our good friend, Representative Andy Ogles of the 5th Congressional District. Once again, he joins us on the Murphy Show hotline to talk about the shutdown and other matters. Andy, what's going on? How are you, my friend?
Well, it's crazy. I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good. Good.
Being a voice of reason, but the Democrats are ridiculous. In fact, it's been a busy media day because there's so much demand for people want answers. What the heck's going on in the mayor's race in New York? Why are Democrats voting against, veterans and those on Medicaid and those who truly need help versus defending illegals? That's the state of play for the Democrats. And I think it's a reflection in that they don't have a plan, they don't have a message, and they don't have leadership.
Well, I want to get to the Mamdani race because you've spoken out on some aspects of that, obviously. I want to start. Let's start here with the obvious. Congratulations on the Trump endorsement. Donald J. Trump endorsed you for the 5th Congressional District. Did so pretty early on in the election season. I think most of us, maybe not you, Andy, but most of us haven't considered that. But 26 will be here before you know it, and you got the endorsement of the big man.
Yeah, it's been a few months ago. I was actually with the president and the vice president in the Oval Office, and he was actually signing a placard. We had a meeting at a round table. There was about 18 of us, the president, the vice president, Russ Vought, Stephen Miller, and a few others. And as we're leaving, he's like, y'all come on into the Oval Office, because there's a couple of members who hadn't been in there. And he's literally signing my name placard, and it's in my office in D.C., and he said, Andy, are they still coming after you? And I said, well, yes, sir. They're, the same groups that came after me last time. Going to come after me again. He goes, well, whatever you need, you have my support. So he offered his endorsement a while back, but we were just kind of waiting till timing was right to unveil it. But I've got a serious challenger in November. I've got a Democratic opponent that, is raising a lot of money. He wants this seat. The Democrats have me number 3 on their hit list. So I have a fight on my hands, but you know what? I'm going to get out there. I'm going to work hard and beat him like I've beaten everybody else that's come against me.
Well, look, Andy, from my perspective, I see that you have a Republican primary challenge, and I think, good. That'll sharpen up sharpen up the race and sharpen up the focus of Representative Andy Ogles. Do you see it that way too, or would you prefer not to have Democrat primary opposition?
Well, look, you take every race.
Or Republican, I should say, not Democrat, but Republican primary opposition, yeah.
Sure, you take every race seriously, and so we'll fight if we're 3 points behind, and but like I said, we've got a good ground game. I've been the grassroots candidate. I think that's why I've had such success, is because I go to the town halls and the fish fries, and I pop into the town square, and people just know me. And part of that is they got to know me when I was mayor as well. And so, but that's what I take to Congress. I was a mayor first, and your mayors are accessible. They're going to your community events. They're out there. Now, I've got 6 counties. It's hard to be everywhere all at once, but we do our best to have coverage. But, it's an honor to serve the 5th Congressional District and to be someone who is as close to I am to the president. If you'd asked me that, a couple of years ago, would you be texting or receiving calls from the president of the United States, I would have chuckled, and yet here we are.
Representative Andy Ogles with us this afternoon on the Murphy Show on Super Talk. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the shutdown. The Democrats are increasingly desperate. It's sad because they're now entering an arena where they potentially could hurt people. Our military is always going to get paid, and thankfully the president maneuvered a way to continue to pay them. I believe our federal employees will be reimbursed. They might suffer temporarily, but now we're talking SNAP benefits from people right here in Tennessee and across the United States of America that need them. They're trying desperately to blame, the House. They're trying to desperately blame Donald Trump. And I just repeat, all you have to do is vote to reopen the government, and you reopen the government. Is it as simple as that for you, Andy?
It is. I mean, and when you look at, so this is a very simple, quote unquote, a clean CR. It doesn't have a bunch of, hardcore, hard-charging Republican priorities in it. It's literally just a funding mechanism. Democrats have voted for these time and time again, but this is, really just political theater. Part of it is Schumer is facing a potential primary from AOC, and I would argue that she would win, and so he's got to come across as tough, which is why he can't cave, quote unquote. But like you said, the Democrats, at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is get 2.5 million illegal immigrants back onto Medicaid. The big beautiful bill kicked them off. They're trying to get the illegal immigrants back on free health care. Meanwhile, they want to deny SNAP benefits to the elderly, those on fixed income, widows, and children who need it. They wanted to, deny people Medicaid, those who truly need it. And so they're choosing illegals over American citizens. It's that simple. And quite frankly, I think part of it is just demonstrating their disarray. They hate Trump. They hate conservatives like me and like you, and they're just grasping at straws. But ultimately, I think this backfires. I mean, even CNN, I don't know if it was last night or this morning, they had a graphic, and it was showing that the approval ratings of Republican Party is going up. That's typically not happened during a shutdown. We always get blamed for it, but the message is clear. We did our part. We simply passed a bill that would keep the government funded, would keep benefits in place, and the Democrats voted against it.
Well, and it's fascinating because the more conservative members in Congress, like yourself, Andy, I'm sure that you don't like the funding levels where they are. You want to see further cuts. We want to see more in the arena of DOGE. It's not as if the Republicans haven't moved on this issue to try to keep the government funded. At the same time, it's the Democrats that are being completely inflexible on all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, as one of the most conservative members of the House, I'd be slashing the budget left and right, and be getting praise here in the district for it. But that being said, I recognize that we have some essential services that have to be funded. And again, kudos to the president and Russ Vought for finding money, finding ways to keep our members of the military paid. Now, that being said, the SNAP benefits do end November 1st. I think that's when it gets really hard and real for the Democrats, because by and large, the constituency, and I hate to generalize, but the constituency that are on SNAP benefits, a lot of those are in blue cities, Democrat supporters. And keep in mind, the other thing that they're trying to do, the Democrats, is they want to take funding away from rural health care, again, for what? They want to fund illegal immigrants in blue cities. So not only are they siding with the illegal immigrants on the Medicaid fight, but they're literally trying to take money away from rural America to, again, fund blue cities. So enough is enough. We had a call to Speaker earlier today. We're going to hold the line. Senate Republicans, the White House, and the House of Representatives, we are all lockstep on this message. And ultimately, I think the Democrats capitulate. They cave. I don't know if that's 2 days from now or 2 months. But this fight could go on to Thanksgiving. Hopefully, they'll come to their senses and open the government back up.
Representative Andy Ogles joining us for a few more minutes on the Matt Murphy Show. Speaking of immigration, specifically illegal immigration, you've never shied away from a comment or from a fight, even if it's an issue that's outside of your district. And I know that you recently called for the Department of Justice to denaturalize and even deport mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani. Setting aside the fact that I have no idea how anyone with any sense could vote for this guy based on his statement about defunding police, his socialism, the fact that he wants to tax New York City into oblivion, he wants to turn it into a socialistic hellscape. All of that aside, talk to me about your call for the Department of Justice to probe Mamdani and your suggestion that he is not here in this country legally.
So in 2018, he was naturalized. You fill out a form when you're naturalizing to the United States. That it's the N-400, and there's a list of questions. And what he didn't disclose on his form is that he was a member of the Democratic Socialists of America, so a socialist Marxist type organization that literally could have disqualified him from becoming a citizen. He concealed that. He concealed some of his anti-American rhetoric and activity. And so if the DOJ chose to, they could go back and denaturalize Mamdani. And quite frankly, I think we need, especially those that were naturalized under the Biden administration, to go through those, all of those filings, all of those forms with a fine-tooth comb. Look, it's our country. We get to decide who comes here, and we get to decide who has to leave, right? And keep in mind, it's not just any city, right? And this is a fight worth having over any city in America. But New York City is the financial center of our country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on financial services. It's the banking committee. There's a huge, the SEC, security, the stock market, right? New York City, right? And this guy's going to turn it. There was a movie a long time ago, Escape from New York, where it becomes this criminal hellscape. That's literally what's about to happen. I listened to an interview with him. He was talking about how crime is a construct of modern society. And if more things were free, then there would be no crime. And this is what that guy believes. I thought it was fiction at first, right? You're hearing this guy talk, and he's going to destroy New York. And, this whole idea of taxing the rich only works until all the rich move out, which is what's going to happen to the city.
Yeah, amen. I agree. Is there any way, thinking along these lines, is there any way to maybe denaturalize Mayor Freddie O'Connell?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure he was born here, but I don't know. I'll check for you. But I tell you what, Mamdani is literally, I think, he's a terrorist sympathizer. He's very anti-American. He's, in his own words, you don't have to believe me. Your listeners don't have to believe you. You can simply go watch the videos that he has put out there. His own words. He's anti-American, and he's about to be the mayor of the largest city in the country, the financial epicenter of our country. I have a problem with that, even though it's outside of my district.
So, Representative, one final thought on the White House. The liberals just had their little No Kings rallies, and that's fine as long as they're peaceful, as long as they don't block traffic. I don't care what they do on a Saturday. I'm going to watch some college football and enjoy time with family, but they can do them and I'll do me. At the same time, the general purpose was to declare that we don't have kings, we don't have authoritarians, and we all think it's just ridiculous. At the same time, I hear chatter, and I know that you suggested or even proposed the idea of amending the 22nd Amendment to the Constitution to allow for 3 non-consecutive terms, and you did that earlier in the year. Now we have Steve Bannon making, I don't know how serious the comment was, but making comments about, we have a plan for Trump to serve a 3rd term. I know you've discussed this. Trump's now being asked about it. I just ask you this, and I respect you, Andy, but is this beneficial for what we're trying to do in America today to suggest that Trump should be serving a 3rd term, particularly considering that he's almost 80 years old now?
Well, let's be honest. It drives the left absolute bananas.
Well, I get it. I get it.
I'm just going to be honest with you. But it forces an important conversation of, would you rather have another Joe Biden Democrat administration, or would you prefer a 3rd term under the vision and leadership of President Trump? I think what you're going to see is that President Trump, quite frankly, even if the Constitution could be amended, which, by the way, is very difficult to do, I don't know that he would run. I think he would be glad to hand off the torch to J.D. Vance and maybe Marco Rubio, but he's still going to be an influential world figure for the next decade or for however long he chooses to be. I think he ends his presidency and he travels the world playing peacemaker and leader, being an advocate and champion cheerleader for the United States of America. And that's a good place and a good role for him to have. But, is it possible? Sure, it's possible. Is it a difficult thing to accomplish? Absolutely. But again, it forces that conversation of this was the reality under Joe Biden and the Democrats. Here's the new reality. But, oh, by the way, because of President Trump, 81 children were just rescued in the city of Memphis who were otherwise Memphis.
Amen.
Oh, by the way, Washington, D.C. is safe again. Oh, by the way, Chicago is becoming safer. And you have city after city across America where the citizens are begging President Trump to come in and to liberate and take back their streets. That's a sign of change that's coming. And while we are going to sweep the midterms, the Republicans here in a few short months.
Well, and I know you've got a scoop, but you mentioned Memphis. One quick thought on that. I just got the numbers. As of Friday, the Memphis Safe Task Force said they had arrested 1,457. They had seized 274 illegally possessed firearms. They've detained 113 gang members, many of whom they expect to be deported back to their countries of origin. And you mentioned 81 children that have been reported missing have been found. At what point, I mean, obviously this is a wild success and will serve as an example to other cities how this could happen in their communities. At what point would you call Donald Trump up on the phone and say, Mr. President, maybe it's time to look at Nashville? I mean, are we there yet? or would you have to see, I mean, what would your message be, I guess, to Mayor Freddie O'Connell about what he needs to do to prevent that sort of thought or process?
Well, when you go back to when Afton Ben was interfering with ICE raids in Nashville, there was talk that Memphis was on the list. And I reached out and said publicly that Nashville should be on the list as well, because you have a mayor who's not really doing his job. Your mayor does not, but we do. And so I've already called for the president to intercede or to send resources to Nashville. Nashville, by the way, has been one of the top cities that ICE has been working in part because of me asking for it. But that being said, I'll continue to be an advocate for Nashville and the state of Tennessee. But when you have these woke, activist, radical mayors, it's telling that you have a state rep, Afton Ben, who is being literally interfering with federal authorities.
And now running for the 7th Congressional District. And we need to get Matt Van Epps in that seat. Jiffy quick.
He's going to win.
Yeah.
I've endorsed him. He's going to win. He's going to win handily. But he's like me. He immediately has to jump right around, and he'll be running for re-election. But, he came to D.C., by the way. Several of the candidates did. And obviously I had a couple of friends in the race, so I stayed neutral. But my takeaway from Matt when I met him for the first time was he's an impressive guy. And he's, quite frankly, one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. If you haven't had him in studio on the show, you should.
Yeah.
Truly impressive, truly a great guy, and I look forward to serving with him.
Representative Andy Ogles, always good to check in with you. Come see us when you're in town, and we'll talk to you again very soon. Take care.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right, there's 54 after there. There's Andy Ogles. And look, see if I can get him. Is my elephant close to Andy?
Oh, I took Andy off.
Oh, dadgummit. I was trying to get the elephant to smooch him.
Oh, try it again.
All right. Is that close?
Up a little more. A little more to the left.
You're messing with me, man.
Kissing voice.
That little elephant.
That little fella.
Hey, Andy, help me. I'm in captivity. Don't support circuses. Love elephants. Roll Tide. 54 after the hour.
Jackson is
I think
psychotic.
I think there's something in my juice. I think there's something in my Welch's Grape Ghost. I'm feeling a little funky. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Nashville Safe House. Have you seen the Matt Murphy special at Nashville Safe House? Well, you need to go by and see it. My goodness, I did. I went in and saw it's beautiful. It's right there in the lobby. You'll see it as you walk through the door. You'll see it right on the right. And then you see the fine folks, the incredible crew at Nashville Safe House that are ready to assist you in any and all of your needs. I mean, there are folks that are really, Mark gets all the accolades and all the credit, but everybody behind the scenes, they're really doing the hard work. And frankly, I thank the team behind Nashville Safe House for what they do for our community. They make us safer by extension because when you have those things in your home that make you safe, that protect yourself, your family, and your property, you need to protect them. And you do that with a safe from Nashville Safe House. Or you protect your valuables, or you protect the things that are sentimental to you. I mean, whatever your need might be, whether it's a jewelry safe, a small thing, or a gun safe, something large, or a vault door, they've got them at Nashville Safe House. More selection than you can possibly imagine. Never sales tax at Nashville Safe House. You don't have to worry about that. Every brand name, every price point, every model, you can find it in Nashville Safe House. Go by and see them online. You can find them at NashvilleSafeHouse.com. That's NashvilleSafeHouse.com. Or better yet, stop by, say hello to Mark and the team at Nashville Safe House, across the street from City Cemetery on 4th Avenue South. We are so lucky to have Genesis Diamonds right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Two locations. One in Green Hills and the other in Cool Springs. In a sea of corporate jewelers, Genesis is refreshing in as much as they are locally owned. Genesis can stay ahead of the pack with a bigger selection, new and trending styles, more pricing flexibility, stronger warranties, and higher quality standards. All of that goes back to local ownership. And as we head into the holiday season, they're fully stocked. Case after case of dazzling jewelry, rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, colored gemstone jewelry, luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, too many and too numerous to mention here, all at the guaranteed best value around with no commission salespeople. That's so nice. You don't feel like you're being bullied. You don't feel like you're being pushed into a decision. They're going to treat you like family, and they're going to find the thing that is right for you. It's going to be a home run gift for the loved one in your life this holiday. Never be treated like a number again. Go to Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. They're my jeweler, and I want them to be yours. Genesis Diamonds. Tell them I said hello.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Hurricane Melissa has weakened slightly after making landfall as a Category 5 storm on Jamaica's west coast today. ABC meteorologist Melissa Griffin says it's still a powerful Category 4.
Overnight, we're going to see the eye making landfall on southeastern Cuba, and then it makes its way towards the southeastern Bahamas by tomorrow afternoon. Still potentially as a hurricane, we're looking at a Category 2 to 3 hurricane as it makes its way across the southeastern Bahamas.
Jamaica's military and fire brigade standing by for search and rescue operations, and AmeriCare's director, Marielle Fontaine, says the aid group is ready to help with long-term needs.
AmeriCare's, in addition to our medical supplies, has a contingent of mental health specialists that we have on standby to go to support the needs of the survivors and also of the first responders as they deal with the trauma of the hurricane.
Some areas of Jamaica could see up to 3 feet of rainfall, and along with flooding and surge. This is ABC News.
Right now in Tennessee, we've got an update on the Memphis Safe Task Force. Culleoka State Rep Scott Sapicki telling WTN's Chad Benson Show today, lawmakers learned new results today.
4.5 weeks in, 1,457 total arrests, 113 known gang members possibly being deported, 274 firearms confiscated from felons. We found 81 missing children, the bulk of those young females.
Memphis officials, meanwhile, have sued Governor Bill Lee over the deployment of the National Guard. They cite constitutional concerns. It's day 28 of the government shutdown, and Vice President J.D. Vance talked to reporters today after he met with senators for about 40 minutes behind closed doors.
We've got 52 Republican senators who have voted to reopen the government. We've got 3 moderate Democrats, to their credit, who have voted to reopen the government. We just need 5 more reasonable Democrats to do what the American people want us to do to open up the government.
Now, today, air traffic controllers missed their first full paycheck since the start of the shutdown, and nearly 700,000 Tennesseans who rely on SNAP benefits to buy groceries, well, those benefits are going to run out on Saturday if the shutdown continues. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right. The usual slowdowns trying to get home. We've got it northbound 65 up to the South Loop, northbound North Loop up to the merge with 24 there north of downtown. Then we've got eastbound 24. It is stop and go bumper to bumper from 440 down to Briley Parkway. And even then, it's slow going until you get past to Bell Road. In Murfreesboro, we've got a crash off on the right shoulder now. It's going to be 24 westbound just past Old Fort Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy Show in progress. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Glad you've decided to join us this afternoon, wherever you might be. Perhaps you're in your home, perhaps in your place of business, finishing up work, or just beginning operations, or maybe you're in your automobiles or someplace in between. We thank you for being a part of the Matt Murphy radio family, and I thank you for listening to the Matt Murphy Show. Super Talk 99.7 WTN in progress. 615-737-9986. Hey, y'all need to get on the phone lines or I'm going to take Mike's call. That's a threat. 615-737-9986 if you'd like to talk about anything that we've discussed over the portion of the last 2 hours of the show or anything on your mind. Obviously discussing the government shutdown, day 28, the possibility of SNAP benefits ending. A lot of folks have their proverbial political panties in the proverbial political panty wad over this fact, and there's a lot of blaming that's going on. 9313 has written in response to our conversation with Andy Ogles. There's been a lot of response to our conversation with Andy Ogles. And y'all know that Andy and I have had an on-again, off-again friendship during his time in service as Murray County mayor and then eventually as a congressman. When I first got here in 2021, I was a little bit confused because I received some information that Andy had moved some money around that was technically illegal from a campaign finance standpoint. I was proven right in all of that. And we've long repaired that. Andy votes the right way in most cases. Andy is also, he has a tendency to lean to the performative, and he knows that. And so during our conversation, friends can agree on a lot of things and then talk about things that they might have a different approach or a disagreement on. And frankly, this conversation about Donald Trump getting a third term is ridiculous. I consider it to be nonsense. I do not believe that it helps the cause that we are engaged in, and that is to get us back to sensible-sized government, to shrink the size and scope of the federal government, to reduce the national debt, to secure our borders, to stop foreign conflicts, to get ourselves out of said same, to get better trade deals on the table, to improve our economy, to improve the American way of life, to get back to the American way of life, to stop all the cultural warfare and all the cultural nonsense. I mean, these are the things that we try to advance on a day-to-day basis. And I do not believe that having any sort of discussion about a third Donald Trump term aids in that endeavor. Donald Trump's not going to be a third termer. That is impermissible per the Constitution of the United States of America and the 22nd Amendment. And you would have to amend it in order to do anything about that. Well, 9313 has chimed in and says, okay, let me get this straight. Let's joke about a third term because Republicans want to drag Trump or drag Trump nuts. I'm assuming he means people with Trump derangement syndrome. I could read that one of two ways. And because there might be children listening in the automobiles of parents around the community, I'm going to choose to read it that he's talking about people that are nuts regarding Donald Trump's presidency. Look, rules are rules. This is BS. Why are we electing people like this? All politicians are full of crap. Nobody does their job. THERE, their job. Whatever. America is a joke. writes 9313. Point fingers is all both parties do. How about using your platform, Matt, to call out politicians on both sides? Thanks for listening, 9313. I do. I appreciate your call. I do not believe that all things are equal when it comes to representation. I do believe that while I am not a Republican nor a conservative, I typically vote Republican because I believe that it's pretty cut and dry who best reflects and represents the values of our founding fathers, who best reflects and represents the values of the idea of freedom of association, freedom of spirit, freedom of identity, freedom from government interference when it comes to your liberties, and a freedom to take responsibility for yourself and your life and make the best life possible for you and your family within your community. I believe the Republicans represent that far more than the Democrats. I believe they represent cultural norms that our society has laid out in front of us far more so than the lefty loonies in Washington, D.C. I do not believe, as George Wallace once infamously said, he said, oh, there's not a dime's worth of difference between Republicans and Democrats. I disagree with that. I think there's a lot of change worth of difference. That doesn't mean the Republicans are always right. That doesn't mean that I always agree with them. And we will obviously call those folks out when some of their positions merit it. I do not believe that Andy's deal with the third term stuff merits, getting into a screaming fight about it. I asked him about it. Andy said, he admitted that it was performative. It is. It's performative. He admitted that it's designed to drive liberals nuts, and it is. But I do not believe that it helps us because there are a lot of people that aren't paying quite as much attention as you. There are many people across this great country that aren't paying the attention that those that listen to talk radio do, that do not do their own homework to understand what exactly is going on, and they hear Donald Trump talking about a third term, or they hear Andy Ogles talking about a third term, or they hear Steve Bannon talking about a third term, and then they start buying into this liberal tripe about a king or an authoritarian. No. That's not what we're going to do. So, sure, if Andy's goal is to gig Democrats, I suppose he has succeeded. But I do believe on the other side of that, there are people that aren't quite paying attention that might buy into this narrative that Trump is a quote-unquote authoritarian when we're talking about third-term shenanigans. And Steve Bannon needs to shut up. Okay? Bannon is as wrong as he is right. Frankly, wrong more than he is right on a lot of issues. And I know that he has his followers. And once again, I'm not trying to make the perfect the enemy of the good with regard to Steve Bannon. But when he comes out and said, oh, we've got a plan for a third term, and we're going to say it. We're going to do that when the time is right. But we've got a plan. Shut up. Just shut your mouth. There's a reason you're no longer in the White House. There's a reason you're no longer advising the President of the United States, no matter how much you want to convince people that you are. Just be quiet. You're not helping. Now, 1221, you're speaking my language. 1221 says we need a third party. I don't disagree with a third party. In fact, I would look forward to it. For the beginnings of our political history, we had multiple parties. We had the Federalists, we had the Republicans, we had the Whigs, we had the Republican or the Democrat Republicans at one point, or the Republican, I guess it was Democrat Republicans. I would not be against the rise of a third party. There was a time in my youth, back in the day, when I thought perhaps the Libertarians could be that third party. Sadly, the Libertarians care far too much about winning debates. They care far too much about their intellectual purity. and by the way, I'm speaking as one, they care far too much about their intellectual purity. They care far too much about winning debates, and they care far too much about arguing about hookers and blow instead of issues that are going to impact real Americans in real time right now. They don't understand the concepts of incrementalism. They don't understand the concept of turning a huge ship of state around slowly and not immediately or automatically. And for that reason, all libertarians seem to want to do is fight amongst themselves. And I say that in love. I love the libertarian philosophy of government. That philosophy is a basic one, that government serves best, that serves least, and only when absolutely necessary, and that civil liberties and my freedoms to live a life of my own choosing should remain sacrosanct so long as I'm not violating the rights of other people. That's what it's all about. 17 after the hour. Ask and ye shall receive. I said, hey, you see what happens when I threaten them? You know, I threatened them. Did you hear me threaten them earlier?
You threatened to take Mike's call.
Yeah, I did. And look who's we got Larry on the line. Oh, look, I didn't mean to hang up on Mike. Mike, I hung up on you.
He's going to call me and get mad now.
Well, tell Mike I didn't mean to.
You did that on purpose.
I accidentally punched the button and then punched Larry, and Mike went away. Mike, that was Jackson that hung up on you, not me.
No, Mike.
Jackson's the bad guy here, not me.
Hey, no, I'm Mike's favorite. Remember, he asked how old I was yesterday.
Oh, that's true. He did. He wanted to know. I asked him a question, then he wanted to know how, like, it was something about giving you a hug. I said, you want to give Jackson a hug?
Mine one's ringing.
How old is he? Hey, Larry, what's up?
Oh my God! How am I supposed to follow that?
Well, here's my hot tip of the day, Larry. When I ask you if you want to give another grown man a hug, it is never an appropriate thing to say, how old is he? Never.
No,
Never.
but I have.
I don't care who you.
I have given Chris and Virginia, Johnny B, and the beautiful Glenna a hug.
Didn't we hug when you came to the event in Hendersonville in a limo?
No, you ignored me.
I did not ignore you.
Yes, you did. But anyway, that's beside the point.
That's not true.
Steve Bannon needs to STFO and go away and evolve. But then on the more important point, Matt,
you losing it, Larry? You losing it over there?
Well, I've been losing it for a long time, dude. I mean, I've cheated the Reaper for 14 times in the last 2.5 years.
You know what you need? You need some delicious Welch's grapefruit juice or grape juice. That's what I'm drinking.
Well, I've had that, but, you know, and if you mix it with enough vodka, it's okay.
I don't disagree with that.
I love Brother Ken Weaver, okay?
We all do.
I love you too, Brother Larry.
I love you, Brother Ken, but...
Oh, there's a but coming.
I hope we stomp.
Big old mud hole. And by the way, I looked it up, Larry. I looked this up, and thank you, Larry, for the call. Thank you for bringing this up. Now, I have stated publicly that I'm rooting for Brother Ken this weekend.
Go for it. You can be losers with him.
That's fine. My most important priority is the cocktail party down south in Jacksonville. But I'm rooting for Brother Ken Weaver.
Too.
But then the Florida Gators would win, Jackson.
I don't care.
Do you want them to lose too?
I want everybody to lose other than the Vols.
So I looked it up, y'all, and the Sooners, it's basically that they're cheaters.
Larry's back.
I hung up on Larry.
Why are you hanging up on people?
Well, I got to go
You
to
hung
break.
up on Mike, and he called back, too.
Well, I got to go to. Well, I'll let Larry finish up the thought. Larry, I'm sorry. I thought we were done, and I had to go to a break, but I'll let you finish up. I've lost control.
I know you hate me because you're let me watch my language. You're a Bulldog fan. But yes, I hope we stomp the Sooners' rear ends. But listen, to my original point, thank you for having Andy on, and I'm glad you guys worked out your differences. And I have not always agreed with Andy, but I think his mind is right for the most part. But listen, I do appreciate what you do every day. I appreciate Brother Ken, even though he's a darn Sooners fan. And I love Fraction Jackson.
Thank you, Larry.
And that's all I got to say. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Larry.
Go Vols.
Boomer!
Cheater! Wait, that's not it. I'll work on it, Ken. I'm sorry. I thought I had it. Also, I'm very disappointed. You know what? I've broken my elephant. I broke his little snout off.
You can't do that.
I know. I'm going to steal Jackson's.
How's the little fella going to eat now?
That's a good question, Ken. I don't know. I need some super glue, and I need some time. And I think I have the time right now. It's 23 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Let's talk for a moment about this time of year and what it means for the pests that may or may not be in your home. You know, it is an unfortunate reality, and I say unfortunate because people get compromised during the wintertime, that you think, oh, well, we've handled pest control for another year. Pest control is not like your lawn service, right? It doesn't end because the season becomes fall and fall becomes winter. As a matter of fact, it becomes worse because those critters, those bugs, those creepy crawlies, those roaches, those things, they go from outside inside of your home. And whether it's a spider, whether it's mice, whether it's rats or other types of rodents, whether it's stink bugs, perhaps it's ladybugs, these things can be not only a nuisance within your house, they can be a health hazard as well. Well, JK and Erica Brister have the solution, and that is monthly service through U.S. Pest. Friends, if you're not satisfied with your current service or you don't know what you're dealing with inside of the walls of your home, you need to get examined. A free inspection can happen through U.S. Pest. Go to uspest.com. That's uspest.com for more information. Dial up J.K. and Erica Brister and the rest of the U.S. Pest team at 590-1260. 590-1260. And when you do, tell them Matt Murphy sent you to the only one that I recommend. They're the best. They're U.S. Pest. Hey, friends, Matt Murphy for Volunteer Outfitters. What is today, Jackson?
T-shirt Tuesday.
It's T-shirt Tuesday at Volunteer Outfitters, and you got a few minutes left to get in there and get your T-shirt. As a matter of fact, here's what I love doing on these Tuesdays when I talk about Volunteer Outfitters. I mean, you go see Tommy and his team. They've got great gear for just about everybody in the family. They've got something for you. I mean, if you're looking for something for fall hunting season, they've got it. If you're looking for something for your team, for a special item for, I don't know, a game that's coming up this weekend, and it doesn't have to be the Tennessee Vols. It could be any team you can imagine. They've got a lot of that going on at Volunteer Outfitters as well. It's my understanding that they've got and I'm not making this up, an overstock of LSU gear. That's what I think they have going on over there, if I'm not mistaken. Well, that might stand to reason. So if you're a fan, you can get it good and cheap at Volunteer Outfitters right now. Whether it's game gear, team gear, whether it's just clothing and apparel. And T-shirt Tuesday, any item that you purchase in the store, you're going to get a free T-shirt. And I extend that to Wednesday mornings, always. Because, it's 5:30. Maybe you can't get over there in Hendersonville on New Shackle Island Road this afternoon. Walk in tomorrow morning and say, Matt Murphy told me if I bought something before lunch, you'll give me a free T-shirt. And just tell them to mark it down on my tab, and I'll pay it when I get back up there. At Volunteer Outfitters, they are the best. They're just down the road from all these Nashville high prices. Go see Tommy and his team at Volunteer Outfitters.
Hurricane Melissa making landfall in Jamaica. The top Senate Republican says the impacts of the government shutdown are going to get worse as the week drags on with the food stamp program due to run out of money. We'll tell you what that might mean here in Tennessee on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, it's Matt Murphy. I'm live from a different location right now. If you're watching on Super Talk Television, you'll notice there's no, here I am. So I'm in the control area with young Jackson. He's got his nice little North Face on. And look, right behind Jackson, look at there. Ken Weaver is right there. So the reason that I'm in here is, let me see the elephant that I just gave you.
No, you gave me
this guy right there
one.
And this one, and I'm trading. No, get
Ken
off. Jackson and I are going to work these elephant talks out, and we'll be back right after the newscast. Is it time for news, Jackson?
Yeah, it's time.
Hey, I'm on time. Hey, Ken, it's 5:30 on the dot on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. And right now in Jamaica, Hurricane Melissa making landfall as a Cat 5 storm, one of the most powerful hurricanes ever in the Atlantic. Hurricane bringing high winds, expected to dump up to 40 inches of rain in parts of Jamaica. ABC News meteorologist Melissa Griffin has the latest.
Overnight, we're going to see the eye making landfall on southeastern Cuba, and then it makes its way towards the southeastern Bahamas by tomorrow afternoon. Still potentially as a hurricane, we're looking at a Category 2 to 3 hurricane as it makes its way across the southeastern Bahamas.
In our nation's capital, the top Senate Republican says the impacts of the government shutdown going to get worse as the week drags on with the food stamp program due to run out of money. But Vice President J.D. Vance says the administration will continue moving funds around to pay the troops.
We do think that we can continue paying the troops, at least for now, but we've got food stamp benefits that are set to run out in a week. We're trying to keep as much open as possible. We just need the Democrats to actually help us out.
Today, air traffic controllers missed their first full paycheck since the start of the shutdown, and nearly 700,000 Tennesseans who rely on SNAP food benefits to buy groceries, well, that could go away on Saturday. This morning, Amazon announced it's cutting 14,000 corporate jobs. It comes just a few months after CEO Andy Jassy signaled the rise of artificial intelligence could mean fewer workers. Maya Ephraim leads the search team at ABC News, says Google searches for AI-proof jobs and AI-proof careers have been increasing lately.
While interest has continued to rise steadily, it spiked in 2025. First in July when Trump signed the National AI Action Plan, and again in August when OpenAI's latest GPT-5 model was released.
Yeah, trade schools, trades that pay well, apprentice jobs trending again, more than they have since 2004. Some examples of the breakout searches are electrical schools, plumbing, mechanics, ultrasound techs. They've been trending up over the past 5 years. Power plant operators, among others. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, just picked up a crash by Belmont. This is going to be 440 westbound past Hillsborough Pike, 21st Avenue. In Murfreesboro, still got that crash, 24 westbound past Old Fort Parkway, but it's off on the right shoulder. People are able to get by. I'm Ken Weaver.
I love the way he says trick or treaters. It's pretty good.
I've been tricked.
Yeah. With the loss of your elephant trunk? Well, I gave it to you. Maybe you could go to a trunk or treat and get your trunk back. How about that? Let me talk to you about Cover Nash. If you are concerned that you don't have health coverage that's appropriate for you and your family, if you don't know if you're paying too much, if you're just wanting a check of your health insurance, I have been encouraging you for some time to contact Shane Ring and Cover Nash. You don't have to wait to open enrollment, but guess what? For a lot of you, open enrollment time has come. If you're tired of health insurance that feels like a mathematics exam, what about this? At Cover Nash, they've got a nationwide PPO plan that gives you the freedom to choose your doctor anywhere in the United States of America without all of the headache for only $250 in a deductible. Flat copay after the deductible, just $50 for any office visit for a doctor, even specialist, and a $250 copay. These are all real figures. These are real numbers, and it could be you, friends. Why not call Shane Ring and Cover Nash and find out what he can do for you? He doesn't work for any insurance company. He works for you, and he shops the entirety of the marketplace to find the right program, the right policy, the right insurance for you and for your family. And that is what it's all about. Go to covernash.com to find out more info or sit down with him in Brentwood. He's right here local in our community. Call him today, 615-465-0023, 465-0023 for Cover Nash. Hey, guys. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Glad to have you with us. It is the Matt Murphy radio show, 37 after the hour. Stupid fallback happens this weekend. Y'all know that?
Yes.
Hate it. Absolutely hate it.
It's like when you have a perfectly good stuffed elephant and somebody just rips it out of your hands.
It's a little bitty piece of I just gave you. You did not have the stuffed elephant 4 hours ago. You did not have the squeezy elephant 4 hours ago. Now you have, and I frankly know where there are many other squeezy elephants that, Ken's got one, but we wouldn't even have to take Ken's. There's some downstairs waiting on Chad Benson, Chris Hand, and Dan Mandis. We could steal all of their elephants. I mean, this crap's from PETA. You think Dan Mandis is going to keep squeezy elephants? I don't think so. You know where those squeezy elephants are going to end up? In the TRASH trash. So, Jackson, I can get you some squeezy elephants. And you can have a little parade. You can have an elephant parade. You can do a little elephant walk. If you know what I mean. Should we get to Mike first before we get into nincompoops?
Yeah.
You say Mike's pissed? What else is new? Hello, Mike.
How you doing?
Mike, I'm great. I hope you are.
Well, you know what? You did a zinger on me the last time. That's fine. You can hate me and just sort of make fun of me and all that.
I don't hate you,
that's
Mike.
Fine.
I don't hate you
and
at
you
all.
know what? Well, but you did, and that's fine. Now I'm going to ask you a very serious question because you're pushing yourself as a non-conservative, non-independent, non-Democrat. I don't even know what you are anymore.
Hold on, let me get it's a serious question, so I got to get my serious face on. You ready?
All right. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Go ahead. You say you're good.
I got my serious face on, so you're asking me a serious question. I got my serious face on. Go.
You just talked to Andy Ogles, and Andy Ogles is a so-called conservative, and you agreed with him, and you're going to go on board, and you thanked him, and you got on your knees, and you're all in favor of Donald Trump and this and that. But then you come back and say, you know what? I'm not conservative. I'm not Republican. I'm not independent. And so I don't know what you are, Matt, but I'm going to ask you a question that goes back a few.
Mike, let me dissect some of the things that you got wrong in that statement of yours, and then we'll move on with this question.
This is where we're getting to, because you start belittling people that catch
I'm trying to belittle you
in statements.
What, you didn't catch me? When did I say I was not an independent?
Are you conservative?
No.
Are you independent?
No.
Are you Republican?
No.
Are you Democrat?
No.
Then what are you?
I'm Matt Murphy.
Okay, now I'm going to just forget all this stuff now. Forget everything now because you just admitted it. I want to ask you a question that goes back about the tunnel.
What did I admit that I'm me? I admitted that I'm me. I'm an independent thinker, which is different than being an independent.
I want you to go back with me in time to a thing called the Nashville Tunnel.
Can I do? Hold on. Can I do that? All right, I'm going back in time, but we got to do that. We got to do the going back in time noise, though, Mike.
What?
No, we got to do it. You ready? Okay, we're going to go back in time. You ready?
Ready.
All right, we're back in time. Go. Am I annoying you, Mike?
When you started this whole thing about the boring tunnel is when I started not liking you and distrusting you, and then thinking you were a liar. You got in bed with the governor of Tennessee, and we were going to bore a tunnel from downtown Nashville to the airport, and then it's going to go everywhere, and then it's going to not cost taxpayers of Tennessee a dime. And all I'm asking you now, after all these months and months and months, where is it, Matt? Where is the progress? Can you just tell me that? That will get me back in good graces with you if you can say, man, we are so deep in going halfway to Nashville Airport on the boring tunnel project. If you can't do that, because you put your heart and soul into that, you sold us that, and now you can't
I think it's fair. Mike, I think you're making a fair point because you bring up the point that were it not for Matt Murphy, we would not have a boring tunnel. Were it not for me and my support of this project, none of this would be going on. And I think you bring up an excellent point that because I am solely responsible for all of this going down in Nashville, Tennessee, in Music City, USA, I owe my listeners a responsibility to update them on the project. I think you're exactly right, Mike.
Exactly. And so when you call Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, and you ask them, and I have, they don't even know what I'm talking about. And so what
That's right.
What I'm asking you, Matt, is if you're really honest and true, and you're going to be a big-time talk show host, and you reach out to millions. You reach out to millions of people. And I think really deep down, you really do care about this country, and you really are a conservative. I do believe that. But you need to stop the boring tunnel stuff and then bring on the Amy Ogle stuff and get on the knees with these people. They're liars.
I'm getting a little Mike. No offense. Hold on, Mike. No offense. I'm getting a little concerned with your calls because yesterday you were asking if you could hug young men, and now you're talking about getting on your knees.
Well, I'm talking about, see, there you go. What I'm talking about is the younger generation that keeps believing these liberal ideas.
We're trying to run a clean show, Mike, a clean show.
Well, what I'm trying to say is young people that believe in these liberal ideas, these communist, socialist ideas, they're going to get screwed. And we're seeing it today.
Here we go. Now we're talking about screwing people. Mike. Mike. I'll update you on the tunnel post haste, Mike. Thank you for the telephone call. I hope you have a good evening. What? What? We're having a good conversation. Mike got one thing right. If it were not for Matt Murphy, we wouldn't have this boring tunnel. I'll tell you that.
Can we reach out to millions?
Yeah, of course we do. Come on, Jackson. Don't shortchange us. And you know what millions are demanding for right now?
Yeah.
I do. I know exactly what they're demanding.
Nincompoops in the news.
I don't know what this means, but I just looked over on the YouTube chat, and somebody said tunnel is cabbage. I don't know what that means, but I like it. Babbage now, they're saying.
Money?
I bet they're saying garbage.
Oh,
I bet they're trying to say garbage. And it keeps auto-correcting. Hey, friends, it's time for Nincompoops in the News. It's our daily opportunity to look for, I don't know, folks like Mike in the world and relate those stories to you from Ken Weaver, from Jackson Williams, and from yours truly, Matt Murphy. And I can tell you, and I meant to tell you this yesterday, Jackson, that there was no question who won the contest yesterday. No question who won the contest yesterday. It was me. I won the contest. I finally won one clean over Ken Weaver.
That's way to go, Brother Murphy.
Ken, you are coming in second or first every single day. And Ken Weaver is by far and away the most popular Nincompoop in the News presenter on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Not Nincompoop, Nincompoop in the News presenter.
I did hear you say presenter.
But I scored it yesterday, and I don't have that good of one today, but for me, it is it's a baffling case. I take us to Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, yeah.
Yeah, in the car with the bar. An Indian national, and that would be India. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I get in trouble. I'm not going to do it. It's a Indian national, as in India, a national from the nation of India, not a Native American.
Yes, sir.
An Indian national is facing federal charges for allegedly stabbing two teenagers, both of whom survived. No death. While on flight from Chicago to Germany, forcing the plane to divert to Boston, Massachusetts. Praneeth Kumar Usiripati, 28, is charged. Usiripati. No, wait, I'm sorry. That's Usiripali. Nobody would know one way or the other. One way or the other. Great Googly Moogly, which is the name that I use for people whose name I cannot pronounce, is charged with 1 count of assault with a dangerous weapon with intent to do bodily harm while traveling on an aircraft in the special aircraft jurisdiction of the United States of America, according to a United States Attorney, District of Massachusetts, Leah Foley. On October 25th, Usiripali was on board Lufthansa Flight 431 en route from Chicago to Frankfurt, Germany. According to charging documents, for no reason known to the individuals on the flight, Usiripali began stabbing a 17-year-old male passenger in the shoulder and another 17-year-old male passenger in the back of the head with a fork.
Goodness.
With a fork, following meal service. The victim was sleeping lightly in a middle seat when he allegedly woke up to see Usiripali standing over him. Usiripali struck the teenager in the left clavicle with a fork before lunging toward the second team victim who was seated to his right. Both victims sustained lacerations. When flight crew members restrained Usiripali, he allegedly formed a gun with...
Goodness.
He formed a gun with his fingers, then put it into his mouth and pulled the imaginary trigger.
Boy, he showed them.
After that, officials say Usiripali turned and slapped a female passenger before attempting to slap a flight crew member.
Goodness.
Because of the disturbance, the airplane diverted to Logan Airport, where it was immediately, it landed, and he was immediately taken into custody. According to federal officials, Usiripali was previously admitted to the United States on a student visa. He has overstayed his visa. He is not currently lawfully in the United States of America. And so one would expect that he will be deported after he is charged with assault with a dangerous weapon, a fork, intent to do bodily harm. No word on whether he will be charged with attempted finger-pointing suicide or whatnot for his little finger point that he gave into the old mouthful area. But that, Usiripali, is my nincompoop in the news.
All right. That's an okay one.
Were you even listening, Jackson?
I was getting Ken's camera fixed. You look good, Ken.
Thank you, Brother Jackson.
Not going to look so good Saturday, but we'll get to that later.
Go ahead, Jackson.
Escaped monkeys killed after truck accident in Heidelberg, Mississippi.
Did you say monkeys?
Yes.
I give up. I'm out.
All but one of the rhesus monkey that escaped from an overturned truck in Jasper County have been euthanized. We have been in contact with an animal disposal company to help handle the situation. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office said the truck was transporting the monkeys from Tulane University when it overturned Tuesday, October 28th on Interstate 59 near mile marker 117. The monkeys, weighing approximately 40 pounds each, are aggressive towards humans and require PPE to handle. 6 of them escaped. 15 remained caged after the crash. These monkeys had things such as hepatitis, COVID, and herpes.
Good. So they're test monkeys.
Oh, no. Poor little herpy monkey.
Feel sorry for those little
I mean, I do too.
Now a herpy monkey's at the door.
Poor little fella.
Goodness.
Monkey herpes would make a good name for a band, like a metal band.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? Who's the nincompoop there, Jackson?
Brian Kelly.
Ken, go. Just do yours.
An alleged drunk driver was arrested after calling police to report his own dumb behavior. He could be heard telling the 911 operator, "I'm on Highway 77 going north," and then somebody's on the wrong side of the road. He had his brights on, man. He almost ran me off the road, the driver added. The man repeated his claim, insisting that the truck was traveling south in the northbound side of the highway. That was gnarly. That was like a lot, the driver said. After conducting a traffic stop, the deputy asked if the driver knows why he's being pulled over. "Yeah, because I was on the wrong side of the road," the driver said. "I must have missed an exit." Later, the deputy asked the driver if he's the same motorist who called to report a truck going southbound in the northbound lane. "Yeah, because I thought somebody was on the wrong side of the effing road, bro." Deputy said, "Turns out it was you." Driver said, yeah, like a dumb A, the driver responded. The sheriff's, actually, no, that he didn't say dumb A. He said dumb F.
Oh,
dumb fiddlesixer.
Fiddlesixer?
Fiddle farts.
Fiddlestickser.
Mm-hmm.
The sheriff's office wrote in an on-screen message, because apparently this was on video, the deputies ultimately determined the driver had a blood alcohol concentration of over twice the legal limit of 0.08%. No one was hurt, but the Lancaster Sheriff's Office did say they hope the wild but true story serves as a reminder to drive sober.
Or get pulled over.
Amen. There's nothing funnier in any story that we do on Nincompoops when somebody calls somebody else bro.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is.
Don't tase me, bro.
Don't tase me, bro. Don't tase me. Ow. Ow. That was the OG.
That was great.
That was so good back in the day. Jackson had never seen that, Ken. I showed it to him.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'm broadening Jackson Williams' cultural horizons on the Matt Murphy Show as we speak on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Poor little trunkless elephant.
Little fella.
I don't know what you did with that little fella. Much like Ken Weaver, I'd like to have one of these pocket-sized. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I just realized the thing that I just said, none of you know that Ken told me earlier that he would like to have a pocket-sized elephant, and I agreed with him. And so when I said that on the air, it sounded like I wanted a pocket-sized Ken Weaver, which...
Well, there's not far to go.
Which I do not want a personal pocket-sized Ken Weaver. But be that as it may, let me tell you about U.S. What?
Just in your everyday life.
Yeah.
And here's the news.
And yeah, right.
You just pull your little
pull
Ken
him out, little pocket-sized Weaver.
I just do the news, boys.
He's got his big the pocket-sized Ken Weaver. The goatee would be real size. The goatee would just be hanging down.
It goes down to the floor.
Now you can wrap him up in the goatee to keep him warm. Put him in your little pocket.
It's his winter coat.
You bring him out. You bring him out. You know what he would say?
I'm Ken Weaver.
I just do the news, boys. Hey, fellas, this way. I don't know about this, fellas.
I got to do this. I'm going to...
Boomer sooner.
Put him back in. You can carry him in the stadium with you. You put him right beside your minis, Jackson. USS stands for United Structural Systems. USS, if you need peace of mind, they're your go-to company when it comes to peace of mind, folks. Over 30,000 satisfied customers over 30 years. A little over 30 years. That's incredible, right? They started in 1994, so now they're going on 32 years of service to our community. And friends, they're great at what they do. They're members of the community. They've been in business for that length of time because they do it the right way. They solve the issues that you have in front of you. They don't wish for you to have foundation issues. They don't wish for you to have waterproofing issues. They don't wish for your concrete to crack and potentially, get uneven on your driveway and whatnot, but it happens in Tennessee. And when it happens, you need to call the best. You need problem solvers like USS. USSTN.com, USSTN.com, or call 615-488-7855, 488-7855. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to the best, to USS.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Hurricane Melissa has been churning across Jamaica for most of the day. The massive storm making landfall on the island's west coast as a Category 5 hurricane. Now one of the most powerful storms on record in the Atlantic Basin. It has weakened to a Category 4. ABC News meteorologist Melissa Griffin says the storm, though, is slowly moving out.
It's expected to remain a major hurricane as it reaches Cuba by later tonight through tomorrow morning. So still, catastrophic flooding, numerous landslides. These are expected for Jamaica today, by Cuba tonight as the heavy rain moves on shore. 9 to 13-foot storm surge still remains possible across the south shore of Jamaica, and we could see several feet of storm surge for the south shore of Cuba as well.
The deputy chair of Jamaica's disaster risk management says there are reports that 3 families are trapped in Black River on the west coast, and rescue crews are still trying to reach the area. Victoria Samuels lives in Kingston and tells ABC News her family home has suffered damage and reports that rivers are flooding. This is ABC News.
Well, the top Senate Republican says the impacts of the government shutdown going to get worse as the week drags on. With the food stamp program due to run out of money, Vice President J.D. Vance says the administration will continue moving funds around to pay the troops. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy with the latest.
Emerging from lunch with Senate Republicans, Vice President Vance told reporters the military will continue receiving paychecks.
We do think that we can continue paying the troops, at least for now.
But when asked why the Department of Agriculture isn't relying on a contingency fund to keep SNAP food assistance flowing, Vance compared the idea to putting a square peg into a round hole.
You know what would make this really easy? If the Democrats just opened up the government, then we wouldn't have to play this game.
Part of the shutdown, and nearly 700,000 Tennesseans rely on SNAP benefits to buy groceries, but that goes away on Saturday if the shutdown continues. And that's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. North Loop going northbound. Got a crash right there at Rosa Parks Boulevard. The Hermitage, a crash. Police say it's 40 westbound at Central Pike. Complete stop and go traffic eastbound 24 once you get past 440. Looks like it's fine. They're going to speed up a little bit once you get past Bell Road. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 6 minutes after 6 o'clock. We thank you for being a part of the Matt Murphy Radio Show this evening. I thank you for any moment that you're able to spend with us. If you're here for the full 4 hours, my goodness gracious, thank you so much. If you're an all-dayer, live and local conversation happening all throughout the day from 5 a.m. in Nashville's Morning News. Dan Mandis this morning. Dan solicited my support this morning, and I was there for him. I called him up. I rang him up. You might have been listening. About 8:35, 8:40 this morning. He says my name, and I appear because I am here for my colleagues.
You're like Beetlejuice.
That is true. You say my name 3 times, and I show up. Dan needed my vote on a tie vote that they were doing this morning on Nashville's Morning News regarding whether or not Dan should apologize to a woman with a bull ring in her nose. That was an actual conversation they were having this morning.
A bull ring?
Yeah, they're called, they're not nose rings, because when you say nose rings, Ken, you think of the people with the little studs.
Yeah, just little studs.
In the side of the nose. We're talking about they're called a septum ring, and I learned that from none other than Dan Mandis of Nashville's Morning News this morning. And apparently Dan made fun of someone with a septum ring or a nose ring. I referred to them, I said, you're talking about those types of rings that, you put the leash on them. And then,
one of those.
Yeah, one of those. And he said he was. Well, he made comment about someone with a septum ring, and then a listener on the super text line got very upset and wrote him a note, included her telephone number, saying that she was picked on as a child in school, and these things gave her confidence. I don't really know what the premise was, but the bottom line was that Dan felt compelled to call and issue an apology to this listener. And he asked Chris Hand if he should, and Chris, of course, said no. Joan Jones said no. RJ said yes, and Dan felt like he should. So it was a tie, 2-2, and they called me and asked me what I thought.
Okay.
And guess what?
What's that?
No apology forthcoming. No, of course not. If you wear a nose ring, you are begging for attention, and you're going to get it. And a lot of it's going to be negative. Maybe some positive, but also some negative. If you make a spectacle of yourself, friends, do not expect that the spectacle will always be in a positive way. So, know that you have some negativity coming your way. I mean, when we get into this business, I understand that we're going to suffer the slings and arrows of haters too. And I get that. And that's all well and good. Now, speaking of haters, there are some that are suggesting that we have been far too fun and frivolous on today's broadcast. And to that I say, yes, you are accurate. You're correct. And we're going to try to button it down during the final hour of the show.
What?
We're going to button it down, Jackson. It's
so time for me to head on home.
Straight news, buddy boy, from here till 7 o'clock tonight on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, good luck pushing the buttons.
No fun having. Now, someone has suggested that a pocket-sized Ken Weaver would be a great giveaway to our listeners, and I agree with that 100%. Let me tell you something. The person that produces the Ken Weaver bobblehead doll is going to make a lot of money.
I'll buy one.
I would too. And the goatee, the goatee would be a part of the bobble, but it would go down to the floor. It would go down to the feet.
Catchphrases, though. It needs to talk.
You press a button and it says, I'm Ken Weaver.
I just do the news, boys. Yeah.
Hey, how much does it cost to like and subscribe?
Absolutely nothing, boys. Yeah.
Hey, Ken Weaver, what do you do in the fall on Saturdays? What do you watch?
Little House on the Prairie.
I thought you were going to say football.
Football.
Hey, Ken, just like how much it costs to like and subscribe.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be Oklahoma's playoff chances come Sunday. Absolutely nothing, boys.
I'm out of it. Man, my name's Bennett, and I ain't in it. I got enough going on. I got enough going on.
Florida's going to upset you with that interim coach boost.
What? Why are you so bitter? Your team is doing okay.
It's not bitter. It's hatred.
You're just so angry.
Jackson.
You can celebrate the wins now. You're not a bottom feeder anymore, Jackson.
They kicked us while we were down, So this is what they get.
I have nothing to do with it. You should thank me for the success of the University of Tennessee Volunteers, because when I came into the state, they started doing better.
I'm always supportive of the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just not on Saturday.
Yeah, me too.
Ken should wear his orange on Saturday.
I don't have any orange.
Oh, I can get you some. Volunteer Outfitters. It's Free T-Shirt Tuesday.
You know, Ken, your lovely wife, is she a Sooner fan as well? Or does she just kind of?
She's indifferent. She just, although she's starting to pick up football.
Okay,
it's quite fun.
But she supports you.
Yeah.
Right. I get that. No, that's good. So, E, obviously an Auburn fan, and for years down the road, I would find myself with orange colored clothing. And, I'd have orange shorts here and an orange shirt there, and I didn't really understand it. It wasn't Auburn stuff. It was just orange stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm like, why in the hell do I have all of this orange in my closet? Oh, it was on sale. She kept telling me it was on sale. And I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe it for a second. She's trying to dress me up like an obby. And I'm not having it.
An obby. Is that what they're called? Obbies?
Well, I mean, they're Auburn Tigers. I call them obbies. They're also called barners, but that's considered a negative term if you're a barner. Because there's bammers and there's barners. All barn.
Then in Kentucky, they're the coal miners.
Or Kentucky. All right, so speaking of losers, let's talk about Zohran Mamdani. I'm going to need some audio and video here, Jackson. So I'm fascinated that New York is about to elect a socialist. And not just any socialist, but a socialist that has only been in the United States of America for a very brief period of time. Obviously he came over here as a youngster and he was naturalized into this country. Andy Ogles makes the point that perhaps he lied on his naturalization paperwork. But it was, 2018 when all of that went down? That is a mere 7.5 or so years ago. And it was not so long ago that Mamdani was talking this way about our police.
The way that prisons are set up in our society, I would argue that they do not work. They do not make us safer. The instinct is to just take that person, the source of that harm, the source of that issue, and then just throw them away. Put them in a cage and throw away the key. And that doesn't address the reason why that harm was created in the first place. A lot of times, people who create trauma for others are those who themselves went through trauma earlier in their own lives. Right. And I bring all of this up to say that, again, like when we talk about policing, I don't think the system actually makes us safer. I think what it does is it just removes problems out of view.
So this is the guy that's about to be elected to the biggest metropolitan municipality in the United States of America, the financial hub of the United States of America, a man that believes that prisons do not make us safer and that it is not good public policy to lock people up who have committed crimes against others and against our society's laws, that you have to root out the systemic reasons why. You understand, this is the basic premise of turning the wrongdoer, the criminal, into a victim. That it's never the criminal's fault. It's always the fault of someone else that impacted the criminal in some negative capacity in a way that would cause them to do the crime. It's this naive belief that everyone is good, everyone is wholesome, and everyone would do good if given equity. Equity in the form of government handouts. Equity in the form of a hand up and a guarantee of outcome. That everyone's good and wholesome. What planet is this guy living on? Also, he wants to tell you that he claims that he never said that he wanted to defund the police. My goodness gracious, how big of a liar can he be?
I am not defunding the police.
Mamdani called to defund the police in 2020 and said that the NYPD was, quote, racist, anti-queer, and a major threat to public safety.
But some of his other positions are like defund the police.
Are you for defunding the police?
In this first year, we need to take $1 billion out of that budget.
I'm running for state assembly because it's time to make Albany accountable to Astoria, rolling back the power and the presence of the police.
Why are we spending as a city almost $6 billion on the NYPD I would say is when we cut $3 billion or however much we can get cut, whether it's more, I'm not running to defund the police.
So you see how that's changed? This was an intercut, and you could better see it on Talk TV than you could understand it on the radio, but I hope it was crystal clear to you. He says, I'm not running to defund the police, but he has repeatedly called to defund the police. He's called on taking a $6 billion budget for the New York City Police Department and cutting it in half, if not more. Start with $1 billion and go from there, he has said. And he does not believe in a prison system. He believes in abolishing the prison system. New York City is about to FAFO in the biggest imaginable way possible. Yeah, you heard me. They're going to find out. They're going to screw around and they're going to find out what having a socialist in charge of the biggest, most important financial center of the United States of America, what that's going to mean. Mamdani has called on taxing millionaires and billionaires to the tune of raising some $9 billion or something along those lines. And the only excuse that New Yorkers can make for that when they are told businesses will flee, companies will flee, human beings will flee the city, and that when these things have been tried in other communities not like New York, because there's really not a community like New York, but when it's been tried in other places where you fleece the rich, you know what the rich do? I bet Jackson can figure this out. Jackson, if you live in a community and you are a multi-millionaire and someone comes in and they raise the taxes on you by, let's say, 100%, they double your tax rate from whatever you're paying now, and they double it. You know what multimillionaires do? You know what they tend to do, Jackson?
Move.
They move. Very good. Gold star for Jackson Williams in the final hour of the Murphy Show today on this Tuesday. They move. They leave. And instead of getting half of something, you get all of nothing. All of nothing. And that's exactly what Zoran or Zohan or whatever the hell his name is, Mamdani, is going to get. Oh, he lies. Of course he does. Oh, and he also has been known to say that when the NYPD puts its boot on the neck of the citizens of the city, that those boots were laced by the IDF, the Israeli Defense Fund, or forces. Like what? I don't even know what that means. I don't think there's anything that the city of New York can do. And all we are left to do is to watch this absurdist theater play out in real time. And I'm sad for the people that can't do anything about it. I really am. I'm sad for the folks that are stuck. I visited that city back in my youth, in my 20s. Every year for about 9 years running, I had a good friend that lived in Lower Manhattan, and I would go and I would visit her just about every year around our birthdays. We were best friends in high school and remained good friends when she went up to New York to try her hand at acting. And I know that a lot of people like to bag on the city, but it could be and has been a great place. It is sadly becoming a cesspool, and it will continue down that road under the leadership or lack thereof of Mamdani. It is unfortunate. Socialism is like a plague. Oftentimes when it is released on society, you cannot stop it. You can't explain it. You can't understand it, but you can't stop it. I do not understand why young females would vote for someone who, had he his way, would subjugate those women. Mamdani is a believer in female subjugation per Islamic law, per Sharia law. He believes in that. Oh, by the way, he also lies. Did you hear what he said? He claimed, I had this clip the other day where this SOB claimed that his aunt that he teared up because he said his aunt was afraid to ride the subway system. Oh, here it is. Here it is. You got me audio video over there? Here we go. Here's Mom Dami making the claim.
I want to speak to the memory of my aunt.
Oh, he's tearing up.
Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Okay, so a number of things to take away from that. You hear what he said? I want to speak in honor of my aunt who stopped taking the subway after 9/11 because of fear for wearing her hijab. Number one, if your takeaway from the Islamic terrorism that attacked the United States of America and New York City and killed roughly 3,000 people as a result, that you're that concerned and you're all broken up about your aunt who couldn't wear her headgear on the subway because she was scared to, might I suggest that your priorities might be in a little bit of the wrong place. Number two, Masuma Mamdani was not in New York City in the aftermath of September 11th. She was senior program development officer in Tanzania, where she did institutional development and senior level partnership management, as well as resource mobilization over there. Number three, in all known photos of Masuma Mamdani, the aunt of Zohran Mamdani, she is never seen to be wearing a hijab. But let's let the dude keep lying.
I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Oh my goodness, I'm all broken up about that. That which reportedly never happened to begin with. 23 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Wellness Institute of Nashville is here for you, friends. And let me tell you something, they're good at what they do. I made the switch to Dr. Mitch. Why did I do that? Why did I make the switch? It's simple. Because they're the best in the business when it comes to alleviating pain through non-surgical spinal decompression, knee decompression. They can elongate the disc, allow hydration, nutrition to get in there. I mean, that's the way it works. Blood, nutrition, hydration gets in to the affected area, and you feel better as a result. Friends, the state-of-the-art non-surgical spinal decompression is available to you. If you're in pain, anywhere you hurt, ask about the Big Daddy Trump special. That's right, Big Daddy Trump special ongoing. $12 for a comprehensive examination, x-rays if needed, well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. It's huge. It's the best special ever. Call 615-246-5009. That's 615-246-5009 or online at painisbad.com. That's painisbad.com. Let's talk to you business owners for a moment, right? Alpha and Omega Computer Consultation, they're here for you. They've been here for you since 1998. Are you doing your own internal computer issues? Are you doing your own internal computer IT? My goodness gracious. I would suggest to you that you're probably wasting a lot of time when you shouldn't be. And frankly, it's costing you some money. Now, I'm not here to tell you your business, but I'm here to tell you this. Sit down with Michael and his team at Alpha and Omega. Allow them to talk to you about what they do for you from an IT perspective. They handle everything. They are grounded in industry best practices and proven methods. They ensure predictable outcomes that keep your network secure and performing at its best. They provide unlimited support right here in Middle Tennessee. Not in some faraway place, not some out-of-country place, not some out-of-state place, right here in Middle Tennessee. They don't pass off responsibility to the next person. They take responsibility, they take ownership, and they handle your IT issues and protect you from ransomware or cyber attack. It's what it's all about. Go to ANO.net. That's ANO.net, or call 615-784-0096, 784-0096 for our friends at Alpha and Omega. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Armchair PD writes in and says, what a waste of 8 minutes. I miss the old school days when there was news. This is why I actively avoid your sponsors and even go to their rivals. Yeah, I know I'm only one listener, but you will soon be replaced. Maybe the next host will get back to more news. Ken and Jackson can stay. I just covered the mayoral race in New York. I don't know necessarily what you're looking for there, Armchair PD. I understand that we're having some fun today. He goes on. He's not done. Uncle Phil and Brian always bragged about their good listener numbers. Hell, Uncle Phil was even syndicated. How far have your numbers dropped? Are you not even able to ride their coattails with the numbers the OGs built for you? Should I tell him?
If you feel like it.
I mean, we've always been blessed with wonderful listeners at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And I recognize what a blessing. It was an odd sort of blessing that I received when I got the opportunity to come to Nashville and work at this radio station. I am blessed to work here. I will always feel a lump in my throat And there will always be a little bit of a hole in my heart because of the reason that I came here. Because of Uncle Phil's passing. It is an absolute honor to sit in the same chair, in the same time slot as Phil Valentine and Brian Wilson. And I am honored to tell you that in the last year, we've doubled our listening audience. I am honored because you give us your time every day. It is a blessing to me. I know that we get goofy on occasion. I know I put on my rant pants and start screaming and yelling on occasion. And I imagine that I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But I deeply, deeply appreciate those of you that listen to this radio show. Even those of you who listen pissed off like Armchair PD. But Armchair PD, I'm here to tell you, if your inclination is to suggest that our listening audience has dropped since I've been in the afternoons, it's just not true. So we don't brag about that. We don't need to, because I don't, the only thing that I can do is I just corral the folks. I'm here to provide news, commentary, information, entertainment, all of those things wrapped in one convenient cake. And I serve it on a daily basis from 3 until 7 in generous portions on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And I love the fact that all of us are family, even the haters. So thank you, buddy, for listening, and thank you for your opinion on the matter. Tom is next. Hey, Tom, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm great.
I want to tell you, I love your show, and I especially like Nincompoops in the News.
Well, thank you. It's a goof, but we have a good time with it.
Yeah, you do. You do a good job every day. And I'm originally from up there in the New York City area. I lived right across the river in New Jersey, Bayonne, and we could see the trade towers. I came here in '91 with Saturn, and when they took them towers down, it was, excuse me, but it was personal.
Mm-hmm.
At Thanksgiving, I took my children up there, and we saw it still smoking. But now to see this Mondami, it's crazy. After having Giuliani in there, I can't see how they could forget. But I was just wondering, my thing is, if he does get elected, I think we ought to see as a nation about pulling Wall Street out of it and putting it in a favorable state. Let them have it. Let them have it.
You know,
they can't have our family.
I feel so guilty for saying this, but I'm also going. Part of me, I feel guilty for saying this, Tom, and part of it is based on what you just said. There's so many good people that live in New York. There's so many good people that want to see that city succeed. But at the same time, there are so many of those voters that go to the polls and they just vote themselves. They vote in this nonsense that's going to ruin them. And I'm almost going to enjoy watching it. Does that make sense? That's wrong, but... But
I'm sorry.
And no, I was just going to say, in a way, I just hope that it wakes people up. I hope that it wakes one of the great cities in America up to the fact that you cannot support socialism. I mean, liberalism leads to socialism. I mean, you can't support these types of policies and expect the city to remain great. I mean, they had great leadership. Rudy Giuliani was a great leader. But hell,
yes, he was.
Mamdani makes
even Koch.
I mean, even Koch was fine. I mean, but Mamdani makes Eric Adams look like Rudy Giuliani, right?
I was rooting for Adams after I heard this. I was, oh man, come on, Adams. But I want to thank you. I enjoy your show, and I'm going to hang up and listen to you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Well,
thank you, Tom, and
everything you do.
I appreciate you, and I hear the emotion in your voice when you talk about the towers falling. I had friends that lived in New York City. I don't have a lot of friends in New York City now. No, I take that back. I got one that works for a local television station up there, and young buddy he used to be a producer of mine, and he moved to New York City. So I know him. I know several others, and they don't get it. They're scratching their head. Actually, you know what? Buddy Love would be a good person for me to get on the radio if they let him, because he produced for Curtis Sliwa. When Curtis Sliwa was at WABC in New York doing a daily talk show, my good friend and my former producer in Birmingham, Alabama, was his producer in New York City before he moved on to television. And he's now in management and television. I don't know if he would do it or not. But, there's been a big push to make Curtis Sliwa drop out of the race to support Andrew Cuomo. And Sliwa's like, hell no. Why does it? And you know what I say to that? How about Andrew Cuomo drop out of the race and support Curtis Sliwa? How about that? But I cannot help but say, well, you're getting what you vote for, and I'm here for the show. I'm popping the popcorn, and I know it's going to hurt. I know it's going to hurt people. And the reason that I feel guilty feeling this way is because in the real world, people are going to die as a result of Mom Dami's policies. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. I mean, look at Steve Mulroy over in Memphis, that jackass DA in Memphis. His policies, his catch and release policy, killed people. And it's time that we stop pussyfooting around this language and said it as it is. Mulroy's policies kill people. It's a perfectly legitimate term. I don't think you heard the entire word. I said pussyfooting around.
I heard it.
You just didn't know? It's good. It's good. Don't shake your head at me. Just, you sit in there and play with your elephant.
Don't say the P word.
Play with your pocket-sized elephant. Dan and Steve is next. Hello.
Matt?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm good. Is this Dan or Steve?
It's Dan.
Hey, Dan. What's up, man?
Oh, man. I got just one word. Ken, go blow your broken damn elephant trunk because you're going down. Go Balls, Jackson.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, you heard me. You heard me, Ken. Anyway.
You know what? I think Ken knew you were calling and he left early.
Oh, is that what
he turned his light off in there, Dan.
Oh, well, that doesn't surprise me because the lights are going out for Oklahoma and Neyland this weekend. Let me tell you right now. Anyway, if you were talking about Madami, New York, 5 years from now, Nashville's going to be Freddie Madami O'Connell with all these taxes, and everybody's going to leave, just like you said, of New York. So it's coming. So that's all I had to say.
Well, I'm glad you said it. Thank you, Dan, for the telephone call, 615-737-9986. I'll play you one more from New York. There was a great little rally that happened up in New York, and all the power players were there. Mom Dami was there. All you'll see if you're watching on Talk TV, the Towel Brigade is there. AOC was there. AOC started going crazy with the accents. Listen to this.
But we must remember, in a time such as this, we are not the crazy ones, New York City. We are not the outlandish ones, New York City. They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane.
Yeah, is that not a weird thing to say? That's just a weird way to say. I mean, that's just a weird thing to say. We're not crazy. She sounds so defensive. No, you're crazy. We see it. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, sadly, you're impacting millions of people's lives. Sadly, the crazy has spilled over to the Senate, and now SNAP recipients aren't going to get their benefits because of you Democrats, despite the fact that there are some people that are suggesting otherwise. 2805 says, stop lying to your listeners. Republicans are responsible because they can go nuclear like they did to confirm Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch in 2017. Why don't you stop lying, buddy? 2805. The Republicans were not the first political party to pull the nuclear option on judicial nominations, pal. You're not talking to some knucklehead, you jerk. I mean, that was Harry Reid in 2013, bud. Harry Reid had to pull the nuclear option to get Obama nominees pushed through. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So don't act like you're talking to Boo Boo the Clown here, bud. Harry Reid's Senate pulled the nuclear option because they didn't have the necessary votes to get Barack Obama's ridiculous partisan activist judges through the United States Senate. And when they did that, we told them at the time, y'all do this, and what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and we will do it too. And what happened? When Donald Trump became president and the Democrats tried to stymie his efforts to put Supreme Court nominations in place, now you say, oh, I know the Democrats did it in 2013. Well, then what are you talking about? You just said Republicans are responsible because they can go nuclear like they did. No. Never has it been the case that they suspended the rule for a filibuster on regular order calendar of events, not judicial nominations, on something like a continuing resolution. It's never happened in the history of the United States government that a political party chose to not vote in favor of a clean CR to continue debate on new budgets. But that's what the Democrats are doing. They're holding the American people hostage because they don't like what was in the big, beautiful bill. The big, beautiful bill was passed by the House of Representatives. It was passed by the Senate, and it was signed by the President of the United States of America. And they're trying to stymie the will of the American people as voted on last November the 5th of 2024 by demanding and holding the government of the United States of America hostage and holding the people of the United States of America hostage, demanding that the Republicans rescind major portions of what was in that package that the American people voted for last November. Now, you tell me what democracy looks like. You tell me what democracy looks like. And we're not doing that. The Democrats have this on their hands. The shutdown is their responsibility. They're the ones that refuse to debate. They're the ones that refuse to negotiate. They're the ones that refuse to get back to work. And they voted on it 13 times. And you can cry and whine and claim that it's Trump's fault all you want. It does not change the facts. And the American people see through it. Why do you think that hashtag #NeverCNN isn't harping on the shutdown every single moment of every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? They want to, but they can't figure out a rational way to blame Republicans. Even Jake Tapper of hashtag #NeverCNN. What a garbage network full of garbage people. I watch so you don't have to. Even Jake Tapper held Democrats' feet to the fire. And he said, hey, by the way that we've always done this, it's the Democrats' fault on this. He said that yesterday. He said, by the way that we've always calculated this, it is the political party that refuses to vote to reopen the government that bears the responsibility of the government shutdown. Which political party is that? And these Democrats are running around gaslighting the American people, claiming that it's Donald Trump that's stopping SNAP benefits. It's Chuck Schumer that's stopping SNAP benefits. And I've got a laundry list of Republicans that want to open them back up. Marsha Blackburn's one of them. Marsha Blackburn was a co-sponsor of the Hawley bill that would offer SNAP benefits to the American people even while the government is shut down, and the Democrats refused to vote on that too. This is a clean CR. The Democrats control the CR because they refuse to allow for cloture. Period. Now, what the Democrats are suggesting is they don't care about the rules. And they don't. The Democrats don't care about the rules. They don't care about the law. They don't care about the Constitution. They just want their way. And they don't care about democracy either. If they did, they would respect the will of the American people and reopen the government. It is 9 minutes until 7 o'clock on Super Talk. Hey, friends, this is Matt Murphy, and I got a couple of, actually, Lou Holtz had a question for you. Lou Holtz said that before people spend their money, they ask 3 questions. Can I trust you? Are you committed to excellence? And do you care about me? Well, folks, it's Matt Murphy, and I'm telling you that the answer at Eurofix is an emphatic yes to all 3 of those questions. Back in 1999, owner Aaron Stokes was by himself in a one-car garage in downtown Franklin. A few months later, he moved into a shop in a barn behind his house so he could stay close to his family while building a dream of offering the best service on European vehicles at below dealer pricing. Flash forward today, that barn's long gone, but friends, Eurofix is thriving 5 separate locations: Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet, with more to come. All work performed with a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty, plus a rental car available at every appointment. Go ahead and ask yourself, can you trust us? Do we care? Are we committed to excellence? Yes, yes, and yes. All 3. Call today and book at MyEurofix.com. That's MyEurofix.com or 844-EUROFIX.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Let's see. What have we not gotten to today? A lot. Top Biden administration officials misused their executive authority and took action without then President Joe Biden's authorization as his mental acuity and health declined. That, according to a House investigation, President Biden's inner circle hid the extent of his mental decline from the American people and exercised executive authority by abusing the auto pen, taking advantage of a lax chain of command, according to a report released today by the House Oversight Committee. Were there any fairness in Washington, D.C., this would be a much bigger story. It is not, because liberal leftists in the mainstream media love to cover up for Joe Biden and the leftist Democrats that were in the Biden White House. The Biden White House worked to conceal the extent of his mental decline through scripted messaging, controlled public appearance, and limited access. Everything that we told you about as it was happening in real time. It just sad but true that everything we thought about Joe Biden's mental decline was, in fact, happening right before our very eyes. Biden, for his part, made an appearance, called these dark days as he urged Americans to stay optimistic and not check out in response to what he said are attacks on free speech. He was speaking publicly for the first time since completing a round of radiation therapy for prostate cancer, something else that the Biden administration hid from the American people. Bill Gates has backtracked on climate change doomsdaying. This is something that we're going to talk to a guest about tomorrow. He now admits that it will not lead to humanity's demise, at least before Saturday when Tennessee goes down in flames against the Oklahoma Sooners.
Liar!
You agree with Armchair PD. This show was a lot better when I wasn't on it. Hey, Jackson.
Yeah.
Let's go to the hizzy. How about it?
Let's do it, bud.
Until next time, Mark Levin comes up next. We'll be back at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Have a great evening. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.